Who's there?
Savage! Good eye.
Hey, there he is. What do you say, Savage?
Hello.
Hello.
Everyone all right?
Yep, we get about 2.5 minutes.
Lovely job. I'll mute up.
Just enough for Lucas's song to play out.
I was about to send another one.
Beautiful. Do it.
Yeah, I need to get that audio. I'll put it to a back. I'll make a video. I'm pretty good with the Premiere Pro.
I think I'm just going to have to break down and pay my $80 a month.
So I'll just send it to media sharing on
Telegram?
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
Sweet.
Funky Beats.
We go live regular channel next week.
Fingers crossed. I mean, there's a chance we might be able to do it right now if they counted the 1 week from the time we started the stream, but I don't know how that exact time plays out, so I wasn't going to risk it.
Rose, did it finally work?
Yep. It did.
They can hear us. Just letting you know.
No, they can't.
I was playing the stream and I heard it.
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake, we are the way, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, start taking
You guys do know we're not live, right?
today.
Well, goody gumdrops then.
No, we are definitely not live.
I don't know. I
Does
feel
Whitey-
pretty alive.
Well, somebody's got me fucked up then. Somebody's got me real fucked up. Either people can hear us talking when they're not supposed to during the stream, or we're not live. But I'm not sure how it's both.
Well, my screen says
No,
waiting
I'm-
for
I'm
Iron
seeing
Realm
it
Media
live.
Podcast. You're seeing it live?
I'm live.
Why am I not seeing it live?
Did you click
Yeah,
on the
me
one
neither.
that's got the nice little thumbnail and stuff talking about Valentine's Day?
The Happy Valentine's Day? Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
one I've got up, and it's saying waiting for Iron Realm Podcast.
That's probably because it didn't want to stream to that one. It wanted to create a whole new stream link for this show as opposed to the one that I tried to set up earlier.
That would be why.
This is the
my
joys
bad.
of
Okay, now I'm on.
switching to a backup channel when you weren't expecting to have to switch to a backup channel.
Yep. So I blew the intro. Sorry, guys.
It's such a relief. God, I'm so sick and tired of being the one to blow the intro. But TGIF, everybody, thank God it's Friday.
It's Friday, my dudes.
It is Friday, my dudes, and welcome to Have No Sphere. I think we're here. I'm pretty sure we're here. Check, check, mic check, 1, 2. We'll call it good. And we'll call this the Valentine's Day show. We'll call it a Valentine's Day show. I think the people that don't have the passion to do a podcast when no one's listening, it's hard to get them to come on to the podcast. Without the passion, they don't have the desire, and if you ask them too far in advance, you really got to walk this fine line, because if you ask them too far in advance, they're definitely going to agree to it, knowing that there's plenty of time to back out. But if you ask them too close to the event, then it's going to be too much pressure and they'll just automatically say no. So you got to find that sweet spot. And I'm afraid there's been a few of them that might have got asked a little too early and have backed out on us. But that's okay. That's okay, because we still have a huge, huge panel. Tons and tons of people here. So I think this is the way we're going to do it. I'm just going to start running down the list and we're going to say hello to everybody, because this is the way I think it should be done, and I don't know any other way to do it. So let's say hello to Mr. Zachary Zabala, Z Squared. You may know him as Good Times for All here on the YouTube. Zach, happy Valentine's Day to you and to your lovely better half.
Hey, Josh. Hey, everybody. Yeah, he decided to quit being a prick, and he said, "Okay, Dad, I'll come on."
That's
So
good.
there's Hank.
I didn't
Yeah.
expect him to be such a diva, so I'm glad to see he finally got his priorities in order.
Yeah. Yep, it's Friday, my dude. I'm ready.
Sweet. Well, let's say hello to Mr. Walter Johnson, or Flat Earth Head here on YouTube. One of my co-hosts of the Ironworks on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com, every Tuesday and Friday morning from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Central. Walter, how are you doing, sir?
Good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it might be. It is a Friday, my dude. Strange energy still abounds. We're going to get on through that and make this thing happen. Yes, I was one of those apparently who put the invite to my better half a little early, got some agreements, and today it just kind of didn't work out. It's been a really bizarre couple of days here, though, as I told you guys this morning. Lots of interesting things going on here. Bizarre dreams, but we'll get into all that. You've heard me yap enough, so good afternoon, everyone. Glad to be here. And as you say, sir, we have a full house, so let's get those guys on here with us.
Let's say hello to our original, our oldest, our most experienced Aussie member, Rob. Rob, how the hell are you doing, sir? How are things over there, down there?
Yeah,
Around
it's
there.
good up in Queensland. Great up in Queensland. I can go wherever
Don't
I
be
like
a dick,
and-
Rob.
and-
Don't be a
and go
dick.
Go to as many restaurants as I want to go, and I can do whatever I like up here. It's beautiful weather, and yeah, anyone who lives in Victoria is a sap. That's what I reckon.
Good on you, Rob.
Oh, well, suffering your jocks. That's what I reckon. Suffering your jocks if you want to live there. Oh, well. Yes, I'm going okay. Thank you.
Well, good. And since we're here, let's just go ahead and say hello to Lucas King, LC King on YouTube, the freshest, greenest member here on the Iron Realm from that land over there. Over, down, over,
Hi.
under, somewhere. Lucas, how you doing? Hi.
Yeah, I'm good. Hi, everyone. Hopefully, Alex can join in and be a part of this for a little bit. She had to scoot over to over the border last night to do a catering job for a wedding, and so before the lockdown hit. So
you were
that's
listening
why
to
she's
Radio Free
underground.
Australia. The
She won't
shrimp
be
is
allowed
on the
home.
Barbie.
She won't be.
The shrimp
She won't.
is on the Barbie.
She won't be allowed home, will she, Lucas?
I don't know. There's back roads.
Driving with the headlights off.
Well, I'm in support of the police here. She probably deserves at least 2 to 3 years jail if she comes home.
He's already got him on the other line, ready to speed dial, let her know of her exact location.
Disgusting non-conformity of the rules.
Speaking of disgusting,
that's what happens when you live so close to a border and they want to play their games.
You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But speaking of disgusting nonconformity, let's say hello to Mr. John Savage, the man we all know and love.
Savage!
John, how in the hell are you?
Good evening, Josh. Hello, everyone. Wow, packed panel. Yeah, my sum up of the week is meh.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to tonight, so we shall roll on. I'll shut up.
It's good.
All right, let's round this panel out with a little bit of estrogen. Mrs. Cammie Nodell. Cammie, my dear, how are you? How has your week been?
Oh, it has been damn good. It's been rainy here, which makes you kind of sleepy. I know Mercury is in retrograde, so I just kind of accepted things were going to go backwards and rolled with the punches. Asked Zach about the paint. But we know with the steps backwards with Mercury, you walk forward soon enough. Come Sunday, a package is coming with bismuth in it, and we'll be making little parabolic or little parabolas for levitation, and also bismuth crystals over at my house in the near future. So that brings a lot of excitement. It's kind of like that. I have the bismuth coming. Zach has the crucible coming. It's like a brand new pair of roller skates and keys, and he's not even my partner over here.
That's awesome.
Then I do have my partner in all the projects going, and it even gets better. So happy Friday.
Happy Friday, TGIF. My week was uneventful, reasonably speaking. Mom is moved to another room, and I think we'll be rehabbing at the hospital. I think they've moved her up a floor. So I'm going to try to get over there this weekend. Fingers crossed. They're still only allowing one visitor in at a time, so you got to try to schedule it accordingly so you don't have people driving in for 2.5 hours to not be able to get in and have to turn around and drive immediately back home for 2.5 hours. That's unacceptable. So trying to get it worked in there is the way we're going to do it. Work's quiet. Work's just plugging away. Yeah, other than that, I think, well, this is a show that I've been wanting to do since year one, since we started, since we got to know each other and let our audience get to know us. I thought it would be really cool to get our other halves, our better halves, in here and maybe get a little insight into who we are and sort of the dynamics at home and just how things like that and how that works. Now, for some of us, it's not that interesting because their better half has been around for so long that he's almost a regular here on the panel as it is. But there are others that no one's ever heard from. And the idea of being able to come back and discuss and just have a conversation and ask questions of these spouses. Like, just think of all the questions we would have been able to ask the Savage-S, as John so lovingly refers to her. All those good questions, the size of his forearms, all the good questions we could get out there.
You mean the lesser spotted Savage-S?
Yes, the lesser spotted.
Right.
As opposed to the greater spotted, which can be found at the local cancer clinic. Anyway.
What about the spouse that left because of all you guys and all your theories?
Well, that's you represent a great cross section of people out there who, because of flat Earth and because you can't unsee it once you see it, and you either go delusional and just say, okay, whatever, it's the ball now, just to go along to get along so that you can stay married, or your spouse just says, y'all are fucking crazy, I'm out of here, which has happened. So sometimes it's hard to find that balance, and sometimes it's just too much for people and they can't do it. So hats off to you, Rob, and to all the others that have sacrificed relationships trying to come to terms with what it is this place we call Earth might actually be. Who the hell knows? I don't know. So I've been wanting to do this show for a long time. So the plan was to get all the spouses here. We'll have a great big conversation, and it's going to go swimmingly. But like I said, if this isn't your passion, then it doesn't really prioritize too high, and you just say, you know what, I'm not feeling it. No. But there are some here. So I'm going to jump off with the rest of the panel because there are, again, it's a big one. And just because I guess he was first here today, and it's been so long, and I mean, it's a Valentine's Day show, right? That was the plan anyway. So it's a Valentine's Day show. You can't have a Valentine's Day show without Billy Ray Valentine. So welcome, Billy Ray Valentine, to the Iron Realm Media Valentine's Day show. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. We're so excited to get to talk to you. I understand you got lots of stuff going on in your life.
Well, yeah, the thing you said that was most accurate was that, it's not Valentine's Day without Billy Ray Valentine. This is what all the ladies throughout the United States have said for many, many, many years. And they'd happen to be right, ladies and gentlemen. It is not Valentine's Day without me. What's going on? How's everybody doing? It's a pleasure to be here.
We are honored to have you. And I suppose it is technically true. It's the 12th. It's not Valentine's Day, even with Billy Ray Valentine, but we'll make do. Everybody can just rewatch this again on Sunday. That'll be cool. And so I do understand that there's a possibility. There's been a sighting, at least, of the lesser spotted Mrs. Valentine. And she may make an appearance to say hello, if anything, maybe not have a conversation, but pop in, say hi, and just let everyone know that she is there to make up at least one spouse that has shown up for this show that I've been trying to plan for 5 years. Shout out, Nemo.
She might show up. She's over there doing something, but she might come by and take my head off on air. It'll be interesting.
Well, sweet. That's exciting. And we do have, since again, he's practically a member here in the Iron Realm because we have such a good time hanging out with him. We do have Bob from Globebusters. And I suppose Kimmy, why don't you introduce your husband? Because you can put a whole new spin, whole new facet, if you will, on the man that is the King of Cups, Mr. Bob Nodell.
Oh my goodness, the King of Cups. I don't even know I'm not going to go with that one. I'll let Bob tell the story himself. He's so good, but I'm so happy to have my sweetheart on with me this Valentine's Day show. And I'm one of the lucky ones that has somebody that shares the vision with me. And I see the struggles people have in that, and I don't take it for granted. I really, really appreciate how blessed I really am and how lucky I am to have somebody in the house that like shares the same drive, even more so sometimes than me. Most people would think more so, but it's fun. I was interested in finding, like, hearing the different views on it too, but here's the view of having somebody that's just as intense as I am on it. Welcome, sweetheart.
Well, thank you. And I have to say that it's awesome to have your significant other interested in your crazy, conspiracy theories, anywhere from flat Earth to all the other things that we cover. But it's great to have that companionship with you, because there are so many people out there that, not only do they lose family members, but marriages have broken up over extreme viewpoints, I guess we could call them that. But Cami and I have managed to get through it, and she's very much interested in what I study and what I do, and has become part of it, and has become quite the researcher herself. So it's pretty cool, and I'm very happy to be there with her doing this stuff. And it's great being on with you guys. And Billy Ray Valentine, this is the first time I have ever been on a panel with you, so it's very nice to make your acquaintance, sir. And I understand
pleasure's all mine, buddy.
Oh, thank you much. I understand you're also part of the TFR family, yes?
Yeah, I'm there somewhere in the corner.
Yeah, you're somewhere. Yeah. Well, I haven't made the TFR family quite yet. I have been. I was offered a position on it a few years back, but the style of show that I do is kind of more of a visual type of thing. So I'm not sure how I could get away with doing Globebusters on just a radio-only platform. It should be difficult. But
what we need is a whole new
something out.
We probably do the best video show on radio there is right now, Bob.
We had like 2 or 3 visuals this morning. It was cool. Or was that Tuesday? It was Tuesday. We didn't have any this morning. It was all Tuesday. Tuesday we had some really good visuals.
Yeah. You got a hell of a visual going on behind you right now, Josh. You're that gray panel, it looks like there's some sort of black fungus cancer growing on it. It's bizarre looking, to say the least.
It's going to move.
It's the symbiote.
You'll see it grow. That's actually shadows playing with the light in the window as it comes through.
Hey, Cammy, does Bob ever come up with a theory and you say, "Oh, Bob, you're full of shit"?
I don't know if we phrase it that way, but I mean, both of us come up with theories that the other that we don't like automatically say, yeah, that's, we definitely, we'll have the nah, or you've got to be kidding things on that. But overall, I like to hear new theories, and I think he does too.
Probably one of our widest area of disagreement would be what happens after death. I, being a true conspiracy theorist, believe that the deception actually goes on after death, and Cami doesn't quite see it that way, but she does get some of the points that I say. But that, other than that, we see pretty much eye to eye on a lot of things.
Well, that certainly helps.
That's juicy, Bob. Well, I like that.
Yeah,
it's different.
We're gonna have to talk about that. I want to have an opinion in that realm, so you're gonna have to help me figure out how I could come to. That's wow, I love it.
I was just about to say, there's another couple that's hanging out with us here that we need to get to, because they probably have some opinions on all of this. So yes, in case you guys didn't figure it out, that is the lovely Miss Rose herself, Rose777. Hello, Rose. How are you?
Hello, everybody. It is such a pleasure to be here. I'm just looking at this list of everyone on the panel, and I'm just a big fan of everyone here. John Wald, Elsie King, what's up? I think this is our first time talking, and then it's so good to see Good Times for All, and Robin, Bob, and Carrie, and then, of course, this is so cool because Billy Ray Valentine is here, and this is the first time that I've ever been on a show with you, and I don't even know if you knew that I even came on shows now. And Josh and just everybody. And also, I didn't even realize it was Valentine's Day, and I'm so happy that Jason is here. Hi, Jason.
Well, hello, darling, and hello, everyone. It is a pleasure.
What's up, Jason? What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm awesome. Are you currently also experiencing too much cold weather in Louisiana?
Dude, what is this? I don't even understand what my skin is doing right now. I don't understand the sensations. Yeah, this is pretty nuts. It's about to get bad Monday, you heard.
What's on Monday?
Like 18 degrees?
No.
That's what they're telling me.
Global warming.
What's that in Celsius?
that is in
Cold.
Louisiana. Yes, that's in freeze your ass off, and it's cold.
Metric system, people. Metric system.
Like negative
I protest.
5, 4 or 5, something like that.
We are
Cold.
18 degrees right now. I'm looking at with the wind chill of 5 degrees. We'll be down to -8 on Monday. Don't ask me what the wind chill is on a -8 degree like that, because I don't even want to know.
Time to move. I think that's what that reads when you look at the thermometer.
It's cold.
I reckon to be heading up towards about the 100 degrees today where I live, Walt.
I wish it would over here, brother.
So we
don't get to complain here with 34 degrees, and for all y'all in Celsius, that's 1. We think we're cold, but they're a lot colder. A lot colder.
1 degree Celsius. You get that, Rob?
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. It's cold. It's not 18, but it's still pretty cold. Man, that's a panel. That's gorgeous. Not sure if we're going to fit everybody in there. I think we can do it. Ha ha.
They're going to be too scared to talk, I think.
No, well, there's a chance Dixie may still come. Because so many people did back out, I gave her an out too. She had forgotten, of course. I might have asked her a little bit too far in advance. So she had forgotten, and it was in the process of making plans to go out on Friday night to go see your friend. And I happened to remind her last night when I told her that the Savage-S may or may not be there. And she's, oh, that's right. It's Friday. I totally forgot.
Right. That's kind of what happened here. I didn't want to do too many gentle reminders along the way to aggravate about it, and I guess I didn't do enough. And here we are.
I'm glad we got to meet Dixie. I thought that was really cool. As you guys know, when Cammie and I were driving out here from Colorado, we got to stop, and Josh and Dixie came and saw us at our hotel room, and we had some pizza, and it was really cool. She's a very nice lady.
She really is. People. She's it would take a special kind of woman. And I think after my what do they call it? My practice wife. I realized that I needed to be a bit more forthcoming with just how fucked up I am, I think. That way I can get it all out there ahead of time. And if I have to, fall back on the fact that I can just say, well, I told you so. So I just kind of put it out there that, look, I'm a little bit weird, I'm a little bit strange.
Do you think I should put on my dating profile that I'm a flat earther and see how it goes?
I would drop some Easter eggs in there and let the ones that recognize the Easter eggs find you. That's what I would do. But you might be waiting a long time.
Yeah, I say just go for it.
I would say I'm
waiting a long time anyway.
Just say it.
You have to just say it, because you don't want to be with someone who isn't a flat earther. You need someone who's interested in reality, someone with the same level of intelligence. You don't want to be with a dumbass. Elsie King, you can't afford to be with someone who's not as smart as you. You need to find the right person now.
That's not me.
Gotta say flat earth.
Did you hear that, John? John, did you hear that? As smart as me.
Listen, how
could I possibly find anyone smarter than me?
Bros, don't mix Aussies up.
I was about to say, this is amazing. I love it.
I got a solution.
I got a wife.
Listen, it's really genius, and you guys are going to thank me afterwards when we're all freaking millionaires, okay? It's flatflirt.com, all right, where you can meet other flat earthers that and so we'll do this, and flat earthers will subscribe.
Wait a minute.
And they'll meet each other, and they can date each other.
Wait, is this a dating stream?
Mark Sargent?
Yeah.
This must be a dating stream.
Mark Sargent's face has to be the logo.
Right, that was him calling me going, copyright.
I think flirt might be even better.
Flirt is good too.
There you go. Now there's a name for the ages.
Seems like somebody did try at one time to set up a flat earth dating site. You could probably find one somewhere. I think there was an attempt made at one point.
You guys, I have to tell you something. Now that people are talking about this and coming up with the idea, there's no reason not to come out and discuss it. But for some reason, my best friend Kelsey, who I flat smacked, who became a flat earther less than a year ago, she's so passionate about flat earth, and she wants to find a flat earth boyfriend so bad that she is investing like $5,000 that she made it with her hard-earned soul being a hairdresser to create a flat Earth dating app.
Is this Flatter? FLATR?
There you go, Rob.
That's awesome.
I'm looking at
Rose will hook you
InnoTechToday.com.
up.
Sounds good.
The new Flat Earth dating app.
So I don't know when it's going to come out, but she's being really super serious about it.
All right, so
I was like,
apparently
all right,
there's
Kelsey, go for it. So when she's coming out with it, I'm going to have to get her on every single Flat Earth show to discuss it so that the gene pool expands.
Well, there's only me and Lucas in Australia, isn't there? There's only the two of us in Australia that are flat earthers, isn't there, Lucas?
Yeah,
Well, there's only like 30 people total, Rob, so that's not too
Yeah,
bad.
I know. So that's a pretty good percentage, isn't it?
Yeah, last year you guys didn't even exist. So yeah, so I'd say that's a definite improvement.
It's not proven that I'm here yet.
I would like to apologise for the. Sorry, Zach. I would like to apologise for the Savage S not being here. It is a little late for her as well. I mean, she's a mother working and all the rest of it, and 11:30 at night. She's fast asleep by now, I should imagine. But yeah, I think I didn't so much ask her whether she was coming on. I sort of told her she was coming on, and we had a rare day today where she wasn't in a very good mood, which is a rare day. I was in a foul mood as well and very nearly didn't make it here, but yeah, one day maybe. But yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea about the flirter dating thing, Billy and everyone who's come up with ideas on that one. And I would like to just say hello to Nemo and Alison and stuff. I do see your shout outs. I see your comments on YouTube and stuff. I'm just too bloody lazy to comment back or chat or do any of that sort of stuff. But I do see them. Don't you worry. And great to see you here, Rose. I understand you were ill last week and I was following your live streams from inside Farmer Nightmare.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. And yeah, I'm so you know everything. You know as much as I know.
I do. I'm up to date. So yeah, just wanted to say that.
Thank you, my friend.
Hey Josh, my wife is here, man. If you want to say something.
Absolutely.
You want to interrogate her.
What I want to do is thank her so much for helping to guide and produce the man that sits beside you, and how much we absolutely 100% seriously respect that man next to you. Your husband is a great human being, and we absolutely love him. So thank you for sharing him with all of us. We really do. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I said, thank you. I like him. I keep him around because, not just because of his good looks, but I agree. He is a good person.
Hey, can we do this every week?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Right. If you're gonna put me up on a pedestal like that, let's do this every week. I'm digging this. I'm digging where it's going.
Well, it's just an absolute. Have you? So, I guess what's it like living with? We'll call him Billy Ray Valentine, for lack of a better words. It's got to be something.
Well, it's fantastic because it takes a special person to deal with my type of character. So God has blessed me with a patient person. So he's good. He's good. He has his moments. Sometimes I want to strangle him, but sometimes I just really, really love him. He's just too cute. You can't be upset at him.
So what was the last stupid fight you guys got into? I don't want it serious. I don't want I don't want to dredge up anything that's going to send reverberations through till the rest of the weekend. Just a stupid fight.
Thanks a lot, Josh. I'm getting divorced now. Right. Thank you very much.
From the pedestal to the sewer.
For real.
No, he just loves his water. And so he has a habit of leaving water bottles around. That's it.
Yeah, I've known
So
for
I'm
that
like,
too.
John, do you need it anymore? Are we recycling? Or what are we doing with this? Are we making a potted plant out of this?
Well, if that's the worst, then I think you probably got it all right.
I think so too.
Once upon a
Now,
time,
you know what it is? You know what we argue about? We disagree over a lot of stuff, but a lot of like little things, right? So I don't know. Think of something like I don't.
What he fails to realize is that sometimes he's right, but I'm always right. There's a difference, and so he doesn't realize that I'm always right. And even if he feels like I'm wrong, I'm right.
This is true. This is what I get for marrying a Puerto Rican woman. So it is what it is. This is very true. So that's the root of most of our arguments. I'm right 99% of the time, but it doesn't matter. It's nullified because she is always right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nope,
You're
I can
a wise
appreciate
man,
that.
Billy.
I can appreciate that. I'm right 99% of the time, but I'll let Dixie be right all the time until she can figure out that I was the one who was originally right. Then it's all
Right.
good.
Listen, I don't know if I can support you on that one. I can't.
No, it's okay.
I can't support you on that one.
Yeah, but you'll come around.
So let me. That's Josh, right? That's Josh Corey. These are the guys, and this is Walt right here. These are the guys that came on the show when it was my 5th episode, and and no one wanted to talk to me about the flat Earth, except for these two gentlemen. They came on, and they're my brothers forever. As a result, we've been friends since that day. So it's been about 4 years since we've been
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I've yet to meet them, but I want to at some point. I just invited Josh to be a part of the documentary. Hey, you too. Well, I mean, you're far away, but whomever can make it, I'd love to have you. And down here is Rose and Jason Lingram, and you met them at Shoot the Moon, right? I don't know if they remember you because you weren't there for too long, but
I remember. I definitely remember.
Yeah, but you met them, so you know what I'm dealing with. It's a dictatorial, fascist state in the Valentine household, and I am the people, and she is Mao Zedong. That's the way it goes down here.
Well, just remember, we hold these truths to be self-evident.
Well, it was nice to meet you guys, and Rose and Jason. Nice to see you guys again. This time,
And it was nice to meet you as well, ma'am. Very
Yeah, it was so nice to hear your voice again. And I really hope that eventually we can do something else, like, have social gatherings again. That would be great.
It'll
Thanks,
happen.
guys.
It'll happen at some point. If you have anything else to ask her, Josh, do it now or forever hold your peace.
Nope, I'm going to ask her in person. One of these days in the not too distant future, we'll make it happen.
Oh,
I'll make a list. I'll make a list and I'll unload
And if
then.
not, you guys can have your virtual gathering. Each of you bring one of your own special drink. My husband loves the water, so he'll have a special brand of water. You guys can each have a snack and socialize that way until then.
Mountain Valley Spring is what I prefer. Just a heads up.
All right, guys. Catch you later.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on. Happy
Cheers.
Valentine's Day.
Hey, bye-bye.
Happy Valentine's.
All right,
Very nice.
What are you getting her for Valentine's Day, Billy Ray? Is she gone? Can you
Yeah,
talk?
she's gone.
All right, what are you getting her?
I don't know. I got to figure it out tomorrow.
Good plan. Good
I got
plan.
something for you, Billy. Right? It goes like this: tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
A
bomb. Great minds. There we go.
I get away with Valentine's every year by telling my wife that every day is Valentine's Day, and I'm not going to be told by the government when to love my wife. So that's been working since we've met.
You're a tight ass.
Love it.
Of course I am.
So the thing is, we just had an anniversary about 2 weeks ago. No
yeah.
bullshit. Last week was our anniversary.
She'll love that excuse.
So
Get it right, Billy. Get it right.
We don't
Was
really
it 2 weeks ago or a week ago?
It was a week ago, more or less. but we don't really do Valentine's Day like that, But I mean, we do it from. I mean, whatever, right? We'll go out to eat if we can or whatever. Not again. I don't know. I'll figure something out between now and then. But we've been together for 23 years now.
That's awesome.
We met in high school.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, it has its ups and it has its downs. It certainly hasn't been easy, but it's we've made it happen. We have 2 kids, and
how old are you, Billy?
Me?
Yeah.
Jesus, Billy.
You don't ask those type of questions. I got you.
Of your grandma? Yeah. You can lie, don't worry.
No, I got you, brother. I turned 40 not too long ago, man. So
I thought you were younger than me. Wow, 23 years. That's awesome, buddy.
long time, man. It's a long time to be with somebody. I always tell her, I'm like, if we ever break up, we have I would consider our relationship incredibly successful. Regardless, like whether we stay together for X amount of years, which I hope is the case, or if it ended tomorrow, which I don't want that to happen. But if it did, it's an incredibly successful relationship. We've done a lot. We've been together, since we were kids, and we're still doing it. And
nearly quarter of a century. That's pretty impressive.
I'm grateful, for the experience, right?
And you both sound happy, I have to say.
Yeah, she's a good woman. She's gorgeous too, which doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. In this day and age, though, 2 years is a long time in relationship stages and stuff. But you've done really well there. And did you say you're taking her out for a meal?
Maybe. Not sure.
That is so 2019, man. What is going on where you're living? Where are you living?
I live in New York. I'm in the belly of the beast. But the thing is, now they did this, they came up with this new thing that you eat outside now. That's that's supposed to change things. So
and it's -8 on Sunday, is it? There, right?
They put some heated stuff outside or whatever. So maybe we'll do that. I don't know.
What's ironic is that it started in an outdoor market with bat soup.
Right. You're right. That's how it's supposed to have begun. But regardless, we'll figure something out for Sunday. But always, Valentine's Day, it's always a thing, right? Just like I forgot who mentioned it, but it was you, Savage. You meant it in some type of way, but still, like I think you're right. Like, you have to show love and respect every day, right? So
I'm just trying to get out of the one day of the year.
I know what you're trying to do, but I'm trying to flip it into a positive here. I mean, you're trying to wiggle out of something.
Yeah, it's 364 days of Valentine's a year, and on Valentine's Day I ignore her.
That's dope.
Yeah, so Billy Ray, your relationship is pre 9/11.
It is.
Yeah. So you went from 9/11 all the way until the current hoax. You just have been through it together. That's so awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a 9/11. There was a blackout here also. And now COVID. It's been interesting. On 9/11, I was in Midtown at the time, and she was working on 23rd Street. That's further down from where we even did Shoot the Moon. And then my cousin was going to school right across the street from the World Trade Center. So I had two people that I loved down there when it was happening. So when it went down, my first instinct was to go down to the World Trade Center. Not to mention that I used to work there for years. So I knew a lot of people that were there. And so I go down there, and it was a hell of a journey because the streets were packed shoulder to shoulder. I went there to pick her up, and I finally made it. I don't know how long it took me to make it to 23rd Street. She was the only one in the office at the time. She was just sitting there, like she was a receptionist at the time.
And what did she think was going on? Like, what were you saying to each other? Like, what the fuck is it? Because I remember thinking this is war. Like, what were you thinking together?
It's what turned me. It's what put me here, even though I knew about the New World Order before then, but I wasn't really 100% into it. So, I mean, she was just like, what the hell? She was petrified. Like, she was like, we're going to die, and I remember just taking her out. I'm like, we're going to be fine. Let's go home. And we had to walk back from 23rd Street to 86th Street. That's where the trains were running to get back to the Bronx, which is where I live. But she was petrified. But I remember just thinking that, I turned to my friends that were with me at the time. One of them is still my friend right now. He's my friend from 4th grade. We were working together. And I turned my head and I looked at him and I told him, I'm like, Osama bin Laden did this shit, dude. Meanwhile, I had no idea who the fuck Osama bin Laden was. It was just programmed into my head to say that shit. And that's why I feel as I feel about a lot of things today, because I was programmed, you know. And I did exactly what they wanted me to do on that day and say it was Osama bin Laden. And I believed it for about 4 years. I thought we were going to die that day.
Wow.
You know, I was like, I really thought we were going to die. Like there were so many rumors going around about what happened, what was going on. You know, they were like, that the White House is getting bombed. You know, there's planes coming over. It was all bullshit, but it was going around. You know, we didn't know what to believe. We didn't have any communication with anything. Cell phones went down. Everything went down. And we were kids. You know, we were kids, man. Like, so I first time to experience something like that, you know, and I remember getting her and she was petrified. It's like, it's fine. I'm like, let's go home. We went home. That was
How
it.
long do you realize what actually did happen?
2005.
Wow.
My cousin that I was going to go get, the guy who worked across the street from, the guy who went to school across the street from the World Trade Center, he put me on. After I put him on to the New World Order, years before I gave him a book, I gave him Behold a Pale Horse. I was like, yo, read this, man. And he did, you know, and he never put it down. I did. And then he comes to me in 2005 and he tells me, yo, everything you know about 9/11 is wrong, man. And I told him, nah, that's bullshit. Like, what do you mean? I was there. You were there. What the hell are you talking about? And he's like, everything you know about it is wrong. And I'm like, tell me where you're learning this stuff. I'll go over there and I'll disprove it. And now I'm here talking to you guys.
Yeah, it was interesting hearing it from a person who was there in New York. That I guess things would have been a lot more in your face and real at the time. Because I didn't think anything of it at the time. I was just like, oh, that's kind of shitty.
No, man, it was being here in New York. Listen, and I wouldn't trade it for a thing. I want those experiences, right? And not that I'm looking for them, but if they're gonna come and I'm here, they're gonna come. Like even for the lockdown, I was like, oh, what the hell is gonna happen? You know, because I didn't know. I was expecting full-on martial law out here. I thought it was gonna be a wrap, but I didn't have anywhere to go.
Take to the sewers.
Like, what's up, buddy?
You take to the sewers.
The turtles with the ninja.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, but yeah, you know, those are experiences, good or bad. They're experiences you learn from, and that a lot of people can't say that they experienced. I saw those towers collapse in front of my face. You know, and I experienced everything that was going on here for the lockdowns and during COVID. You know, like, well, it's still during COVID, quote unquote, but we know a lot more now than we did then. But I saw things, you know, I saw things out here, and each event changed my perspective on everything.
So
you know,
Billy,
so what's up?
Did you see planes? That's what I want to know.
You beat me to it.
I did not. The thing is, right, when I was going to work, and I was in the subway, and I remember it very vividly because I was late to work, and my boss was always like, yo, dude, why are you late? Like, and I was like about 4 minutes late, and I was trying to get there on time. It wasn't my fault this time. The trains were backed up. I didn't know why, you know, and I came upstairs and I punched in and I went to my job, and I'm looking, so working in a MetLife building, and I'm looking at the TV, and they're like, yeah, yo, a plane hit the World Trade Center. And I'm like, man, what kind of stupid ass pilot? What the hell, man? How do you not see that freaking tower there? Like, I mean, what are you doing? And I didn't think that was the dumbness going through my mind at the time. And then there were like a second plane hit, and I was like, whoa, okay. So that's a problem. And then they evacuated the building, and I went to the corner of where the MetLife building is. And you can see the towers from there. They were so big and beautiful. You can see them from a lot of spots in New York. I mean, all over New York, but definitely in the city. And they were already hit and on fire when I saw them. So I did not see the planes. I did see them collapse, though. You know, and that was closer because I was already on my way to go get my girlfriend, who is now my wife, and my cousin. So when they collapsed, I was a lot closer to them.
Now, did you think when you saw them collapse, wow, that looked weird?
Nah, I told you. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I saw them collapse, and people were running for their lives, man.
Did you feel like a rumbling or anything? Did you feel the ground shudder or anything like? I mean, that must have been mental to see them.
I was too
down.
far away to feel the ground shudder, but I do have, like I said, like I had friends that worked there. I used to work at the Gap on the ground floor of one of the towers. I think it was World Trade Center 2, but it could have been 1. I'm not sure anymore. So I had people that worked there. Plus, one of my supervisors after the fact worked there. And they said they felt tremors coming from the bottom up. They felt the ground shake from the bottom up. These are people that I know. These aren't, and they're not necessarily conspiracy theorists either. But that's what they described. They described like something that felt like an explosion from the bottom up.
Wow, that's a mad story. That is one hell of a story.
So what do you think of the theory that there was no planes? Like when you hear that, do you think that's totally crazy, or based on those things like, maybe it was just explosions and it was just CGI on television? How do you feel about that?
I think the most likely theory, first off, I don't know, right? I have no idea. No idea whether there were planes or not. I can tell you what I think, right? But I think the most likely theory is that, there were bombs under the building and around the building, but there are also these remote control planes. These aren't it's not even a far-fetched thing. This is like a real provable thing that they've had. And they were running drills of these remote control planes hitting the buildings. So no, I think planes hit the buildings for sure. I don't know.
I've seen some really questionable breakdowns of the news footage we were presented with.
I got you, and maybe
I've also seen that same footage without the planes. I've seen people having raw footage of the buildings coming down, and you never see a plane in sight. Now it could be as doctored as any NASA shit, but
kudos to you, Billy, for saying you don't know.
Absolutely,
I mean, that is ultimately what any of us can say, unless we were right there.
It could be as much bullshit as NASA feeds us. It's just, I've seen.
I learned that the hard way. Like I learned to say that I don't know the hard way, because
I think we all do.
When I first started doing this, I would go around like in 2005 when I found out, that something was seriously wrong. I thought I was going to change the world. I went out with flyers. I do it every year. I go out to the World Trade Center site and do activism on September 11th. Try to change minds. Try to like get people to see that what we've been told isn't exactly 100. But I used to come out and say, "Look at this, man. This is proof," and this, that, and the other. Fact of the matter is, it wasn't. And it turned people off. And I was like, okay. So I don't have proof, but I have some type of circumstantial evidence that points at some nonsense here. And I was like, you know what? I don't know what happened, but here's some evidence that is questionable. Let's look at it. And that's where I operate from.
2005, I think almost everyone here on the panel knew that we lived on a spinning ball careering round an 800,000 mile sun. Yeah. So I think we all learned the hard way.
There's a guy on Twitter at the moment, and he's claiming that there was even nobody in the buildings. The buildings were completely
see that
way prior to. Way prior.
I can tell you 100% that that's bullshit.
Yeah, but then I know people like Billy who say they've been all through the fucking building. So there you go.
That's bullshit. So and that's the thing that's happened within our community, and this is what I'm figuring it out now, especially after COVID. Like within the alternative community, the amount of bullshit that we peddle is incredible, and I am partially responsible for some of that shit.
We all are, dude. Early
and I want to be as authentic and genuine and real to the people that listen to me. I feel like I have a duty to do that, right? So I want to present things that are as factual as possible. And if I'm not presenting facts, I want to present them as theories and let them know, listen, this isn't 100% here. I don't fucking know if this is right or wrong, right? But I can tell you one thing for sure. There were people in those fucking buildings. All right. I know some of them. So, I mean, you can take my word for it, or I can be a disinfo agent, whatever you want to say. I get so much criticism now than I ever did in my life. People call me a Freemason. They call me a CIA agent. They say I've been paid off. I wish.
How about a shill? Are you a shill too?
I am a shill. Yes, I am, Jason.
Okay, cool. Well, I want my check because I'm a shill too, and I haven't been paid.
Let's get paid. That's exactly what I'm saying, Jay. At this point, let's get paid for it. If that's the case, I'm here sitting in the kitchen. I can use some money.
Right? I want my damn shill check, mothers.
But you know what? There were definitely people in the building. I don't know.
I've always thought there was people in the building until recently when someone I said, what? I said, nah, that couldn't be right.
We just got to why they wouldn't be. Let's really think about this. You know, if the New World Order, whatever the fuck you want to call them, the ruling elite, whatever you want to call them, if they're as bloodthirsty and disgusting as we say they are, why would they why would they go through the trouble of sparing the lives of a few thousand people? Fuck out of here. They're going to kill you. Right, that's it. But it's collateral damage. Like, get rid of them. It's fine. They're useless eaters anyway.
Well, there are plenty of people in Iraq and Kuwait and Iran and Saudi Arabia and Afghanistan and many, many other countries who would agree with you.
And lockdown.
Exactly.
You know, so there were definitely people in there. I'm leaning to believe that those planes were real. I don't know, but I think they were. You know,
now it would have been a little bit easier to believe that it wasn't a hoax if some of the elite would have been in the building, like the owner of the building or his daughter or son, who all worked in the building, just happened not to be there.
Right, that's where some legitimate pushback that we can use. That's legitimate shit, you know? How come there were 3,000? I mean, I think it was at the capacity of the people that were in there wasn't half as much as it should have been. You know, so there's something that we can look at. But to say that there was nobody in there, that's not factual. Well, right? Or what happened to Larry Silverstein, you know, and what the put options on 9/11, the drills on 9/11, and all that other shit. We can look at that and make arguments that are based on those facts, because those are facts. So we can make arguments with that. But then when we start distorting those facts and muddying the waters, and I think it's done by design to discredit actual investigation of things.
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't doubt that.
I was going to say the same thing, that they blow it out of the water, make it seem unrealistic. So
they just throw. I literally think they just throw as much bullshit out there as possible so that you can't truly figure it out. Because I mean, do you think we'll ever actually know? It's kind of like the JFK thing. There's so much crap out there that's just like, well, something's not right. We can accept that much, but are we ever going to get the exact details? Probably not.
Trump had the opportunity to release all the JFK stuff recently, didn't he?
Let me tell you something about this whole situation with Trump for the people who thought he was on our side. And I don't hate the guy and I don't love the guy. I'm indifferent. But there was one thing that Donald Trump could have done if he was truly working for the people, and that's not have renewed, and I can't remember the name of the or what the number of the emergency order is, but the thing that keeps us as a bunch of corporate slaves and all that, every president has to renew it, and he did it as well. So
Emergency Banking Relief Act.
I think that's the one. Yeah, I meant to make a note of it so that I could repeat it, and I never did. So shame on me. But yeah, it basically comes down to this: if he hadn't done that, things would be light years different today than they would have been 4.5 years ago.
Well, could Jason, also ordered the Fed.
Go ahead, LC King. Go ahead, brother.
Well, he could have also ordered the Fed.
Well, this is like other things, but I'm saying like this one act, this one thing that he could have done would have changed the entire. I mean, I don't know how much you guys know about like the way the law really works and how everything's corporate and all that kind of stuff. This thing would have changed everything, and all those other things could have come afterwards.
So, if you take a look at the stories that are coming out now, Bob had shared with us a couple weeks ago, basically that the whole corporation has been transferred into a different name. And what they're thinking is operating as the government, the de facto government. The corporation really is not even any longer a de facto government. It is now sort of a defunct government. And what is it? March 6th or something. I don't know. This QAnon hopium crowd has pushed up another date for you to sit on your hands and trust the plan.
Donald Trump will become the 19th president of the United States.
That's right, because we're only 18
and
valid
here's
prior.
what I mean, Jason. Like Jason says, you know, he doesn't care either way. I don't give a shit anymore. All right, I never gave a shit, and that's what put me in the position that I'm in. Fuck Donald Trump. I don't like that guy. I never have. He's a piece of trash, right? And why did nothing change? Because he's a piece of trash. There was never any reason to believe that things were going to change. But it's a psyop that's been run on the American people, and we believed for a long time, and some people still believe to the point that we're making up stuff like on March 6th, Donald Trump is going to become the president. What the fuck? How many times do we have to do this already?
I can't
How
believe
many
people are still
times have we
falling for
pushed
this
this can
nonsense.
down the road?
Yeah. I can't believe people are still pushing this crap.
It's pure Stockholm syndrome, is what it is.
It's
Because they got nothing
psychological.
else. They want to believe it, so they're going to keep pushing. It's like, but, no buts. It's over, guys.
The thing is, Jay,
we
you know,
lost.
and
I think part of the problem is so many people that are at the truth level that we kind of have achieved. We've seen so much behind the curtain and behind the scenes and know the evil these people are fucking capable of that we have to grab at some kind of hope, damn it. Some people, not all of us.
Well,
it's military grade psychological warfare, and this is provable.
Agreed.
This is what's going on, right? And this is what has people incorporated into a cult. And there's a built-in mechanism when you try to push back on something like this. There's a built-in mechanism in these people.
Defend it
to get
nail, buddy.
Triggered automatically.
Oh yeah.
And that is also there by design because they internalize the feelings for a Donald Trump. So when we criticize Donald Trump, the people that subscribe to it look at it as a criticism of themselves and get pissed as a result. And I haven't managed a way to get around that. And I really haven't tried too hard. Hence why people hate me now. But I'm fine with it.
Who hates you, Billy Ray? Come on.
Oh, God. I'll send you some of my hate mail, Jason Lindgren.
I think if your hope relies on politicians and voting, then you are suffering from a bad case of Stockholm syndrome at this point. Sorry, Cami, over to you.
And I was going to say, I think you're missing the Hegelian dialect of the whole creating the problem that you need to solve with this whole Q thing. Because if you go and see how it's being played on mainstream, you'll see that it's filtering through on like the sob stories of my parents are in this cult, or I've lost my family, I don't know what to do. And it's all with the bent of in order for democracy, we need to get rid of free speech. We need to get rid of Q, or we need to get rid of anybody's able to like free speech because it causes something like the QAnon. And then of course in the QAnon, what you do is in the first paragraph, it links QAnon with anti-vaxxers and flat earthers. And so they're using the stupid Q drama to have people saying, oh, we need to take away all the free speech, the platforms, people's ability to do this, because see what happens. We're losing our parents in that too. Q. And look, I was forced to self-vaccinate myself. And I mean, the stories they're doing with it. I think, again, you can sit there and say how, on the Q and the people, and that's wrong too. But again, they're creating this to fight pretty much us.
Well, now you see
And
how the
people
Nazis got so many of their citizens to back them. They're good. They were put through the same thing we're being put through right now, and we're seeing it firsthand. People saying, yes, we need to stop free speech. This is insane. People are cheering for fascism.
Well, at least those Germans weren't a bunch of blue-haired land whales, like these crazy SJWs are.
Yeah, no doubt.
My free speech.
But you have Kennedy banned on Instagram right now because he's pro-vaccine, and you have Trump that was president banned forever for Twitter or whatever on the social media creations, and it's all with the thing of not if you don't like them, turn them off and go listen elsewhere. It's on the band of free speech is dangerous, and we really need to get rid of it. So I think everybody should pay attention really what's going on in the big picture, because that's why they're doing it, in my opinion.
Well, it's part of the psychological operation. And that's why we've all been lumped into it. And that's why I was so against it. Because we all get screwed over this, because they say, well, the first thing that they say when they say QAnon is flat earth. Immediately. Right?
Flat earth and anti-vaxxers, yep.
And then you know what they say with the anti-vaxxers too? These virus deniers, which is another freaking psyop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to tell you. So they're lumping all of this stuff together.
They've always done that, yep.
And who gets screwed over here? Us. And let me tell you something. Cambridge Analytica is the thing that turned me on to all of this. And we were the target audience. And by we, I mean the alternative media, people who think like us. And the way I like to describe it is like, you know how Latinos, I'll say I'm Latino, right? So we are prone to diabetes, right? We're prone to certain conditions. The truth movement, quote unquote, if there ever was such a thing, or the alternative media, whatever you want to call us, we were prone to the Cambridge Analytica psyop more than anyone. They targeted us, and from us, it spread to the mainstream. And then, as a result, they're talking. We stormed the Capitol on January 6th, and they're talking about all this stupid censorship and all this other stuff. And who gets lumped into it? All of us. Every single subject. We are tinfoil hat wearing crazy people. We always were, but now they amplified it 100% because of this. It's military grade psychological warfare. This is admitted at this point. I think it's the biggest thing we have to deal with right now.
I think you're right. If you read into the Atlantic Journal, which my sister, God help her, quoted onto Facebook on like the happiness of vaccines and how if you get really sick, it just means it's working well. But go into all of their articles and their in-depth think tanks, and it's flat out. China and other countries have it right. We have it wrong with this. You need to control the media. It's what they're looking for. Free speech does not work. And they are getting us to rally against free speech. You're getting the, again, their media is ramping up against it.
Not necessarily control the media, but control the alternate media, like TFR and people like us that have podcasts that are speaking truth. I mean, we are the enemy right now, and that's where they're going with it. There's no doubt about it.
Who was that calling out for a damn drone strike on anti-vaxxers on one of the damn...
Yeah. Yeah, it was MSNBC.
Talking heads, right.
Unbelievable. I mean, it reminds me of that one scene in one of the Star Wars where they talk about the thunderous sound of democracy going out, everybody cheering for it.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh, my God, it's just so sad.
Well, George Lucas wrote the entire prequels. Let me tell you something about this, because I've had this conversation before. George Lucas wrote the prequels based off of the whole thing's a false flag, the story of a false flag, beginning to end.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing, and it always is. They always tell us the entire story and put it in media, and I wonder if that isn't because they have to do it, this part of this disclosure, this law of free will type of thing, or if it actually amplifies the psyop. I'm not sure what it does, because I've always been amazed at the way, people react to certain things, psychologically, just like, when you mention the words flat earth, people go freaking ballistic, right? Now, if you say anything against masks, now people are going ballistic, right? It's like, how do they do that? What is the mechanism, the underlying mechanism that causes people to do that? Whatever it is, it's brilliant.
Right. What makes them able to make people triggered on certain ideas?
I bet Edward Bernays figured it out.
Well, I think that's where they got it from, Jay. Right?
You get celebrities to ridicule people who aren't into it. The people who worship the celebrities, they follow them on Instagram, and they get the celebrity. People just will copy whatever the celebrities do. Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, they know that works. They figured that out decades ago.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a little default program on Twitter when you open up a Twitter page, and it might say on the Twitter page, people you might want to follow, and it's all scumbags.
Yeah,
right.
The whole lot of them are scumbags. So it's just you go along the list. There might be 20 names there, and Hanks and bloody just every scumbag that we know that they are scumbags.
Another little Twitter thing, Rob, you're about the only person that hangs out there anymore with me. Have you noticed that when you try to retweet someone that has shared a link to an article that speaks to alternative views, the app asks you, are you sure you don't want to go read this link before you share it? If you shared something, I would trust it immediately and share it. But if it's some crap from MSN, the mainstream media shit, it goes right through. You can immediately share it without any problem.
What do we think about what Elon Musk is doing at the moment with the anti-vaccine sort of posts? And I think he's posted something about Bill Gates today.
Really? I missed all this
as well. So
yeah,
what do you think? What do you think's going on there? Because he's the scumbag that put a car in space, apparently. So you can't trust him as far as you can throw him as well. So, but what do we all sort of take off that?
Elon Musk is quite a character.
As far as I could throw him.
Right. I didn't know he started playing this part. So, yeah.
Yeah, and he's been supporting the cryptocurrencies as well. So, something like
in a big way.
I kind of heard rumblings of that.
So, yeah, and a lot of the institutional money's flowing into those cryptocurrencies, which they have been for a while now. But, one of the biggest things that's sort of overarching all of this sort of psyop nonsense that's going on is we're basically living in the greatest wealth transfer the world's ever seen via the Fed being able to buy.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that happened straight away is that, the Fed got the green light to actually buy everything. And that's exactly what they're doing. The stock market's reaching all-time highs, and while the unemployment's just soaring. So, yeah, it's going to be amazing when this thing actually falls over and the bond market goes kaput. And I think the world isn't really going to be able to, handle that sort of credit market freeze and those sort of things. It's going to be something very interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah,
hey, Josh. For sure.
Josh, you there?
So, Josh. Oh, maybe he took a break. Well, anyway,
we're looking for Josh. I'm here. Sorry, I just don't have my camera on. I kind of felt like the odd guy out being on camera, so I turned mine off as well. But yeah, I'm hanging out with y'all and enjoying the hell out of this conversation.
Yeah, I think as far as Elon Musk. I was just going to say, as far as Elon Musk, I don't trust him as far as I can throw him either. But I'll take an ally wherever I can get one, and if he's speaking out against vaccines, then God bless him. But
he's certainly influential, no matter what he truly is.
True that. Yep,
this is true.
I went to my kids' school the other day, and I asked, are they going to bring in the vaccinations for kids? And in Australia here, a lot of places won't accept the kids if they don't have their vaccinations. In the past, all sorts of vaccinations, and she said to me, "Well, we've got all sorts of anti-vaxxers here. So I said I don't like that term. I said I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm an anti this one." which I sort of am. I've turned into an anti-vaxxer, I suppose. But I've had all my vaccinations over my lifetime, and so have my kids. It wasn't until recently where I really started looking into them, and so they haven't affected me. I don't think.
It's been total Russian roulette.
I don't think they have. You might have another opinion on that. But yeah. I said I'm an anti this vaccine, and I think that's how Elon Musk is as well. I think that's how he's coming across anyway. He's just not having this one, and that's a
good way to look at it.
Lot of people,
maybe that's because he's not an idiot.
Yeah.
Did I hear somebody call my name?
That was me, Josh.
No,
sorry. I was.
Nah, you're good, man. I wanted to know if we're ever gonna ask Rose what it's like to live with the sultry sounds of Jason Lindgren 24/7.
I'm so lucky that I get to hear him read things out loud, like the menu at a coffee shop above, when you're looking up, and that they wrote things, or the specials written in chalk. The person who writes it in chalk, they really cared about describing the meal, and Jason does such a great job of highlighting all of the emotions that went into, and plaques on the ground, just anything informational.
Can we have a practical?
Right,
We'd like to hear some of this. So
Right, you must accidentally leave your reading glasses at home a lot.
Yes, yeah. Jason or somebody, should go online and look up a menu of like a ridiculously expensive restaurant, like where it costs like $500 per plate, and then have Jason read the menu.
Next, Secrets of Saturn. Jason reads from wherever.
Hear me.
Our final copyright strike, the menu at La Flage Le Bleu.
Well, I don't know if anybody's going to the event that Karen's putting on, but I'm doing something in this community that I've never done before, and that's perform.
Ooh,
really?
That'd be cool. I'm going.
Yeah, I'm playing an acoustic set of my original material.
Dope. Oh, fantastic.
That's awesome.
Where is this event?
No doubt.
Same place.
Same one, huh?
Same location as last time, because fuck the masks.
Same Masonic Hall. No, I'm just fucking around. I couldn't not.
Yep, same Mason Hall. Yeah,
same Masonic Hall.
Well, it is
because that's because we're all evil, satanic Mason.
Those
Masonic
people
show.
were awesome.
But what's cool is
the people there were amazing.
They told us when they said,
yeah,
when they said, we're not gonna, you don't have to worry about masks. I thought about that, and it's like, so these guys are basically Masons, and nobody's going to go in there and screw with them, right? So if they say it, then it's pretty much written in stone, and we did not have one iota of trouble from anybody.
Nope,
it was awesome.
Awesome.
There was no Walmart. You got your mask? Where's your mask? Where's your mask? Don't you have your mask? Do you need a mask?
Right.
Anyone hear me?
And that's 24/7 up here.
Yeah, we hear you.
You're very low suddenly, John.
Right. Does anyone want to speak to the Savage-S?
Hells yes, we would.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hello.
Well, good evening, Savage-S.
She sounds British.
She's not British at all.
She sounds Australian.
Australian, sorry.
Yes, Aussies.
See, there's at least
we're ganging up on him, Rob.
Okay.
It's
So,
nice
so
to
what,
meet
what
you.
what do we
My
call
name
the
is
Savage-S?
I think
Savage-S.
The Savage-S?
Savage-S, yes.
Okay.
Savage-S.
I guess it's better than Karen, right?
You could do better than John. You do know that.
Savage.
That'd be Rob.
That'd be Rob, would it?
Well, my name is Zachary. It is so nice to meet you. I love your husband. He's a great guy.
You're welcome
And
to him.
Yeah, it's amazing. you all hats off to you for putting up with him. Thank you.
Yeah, we kind of like the guy. He's pretty cool. And my name is Bob, and nice to meet you also.
Nice to meet you all.
Awesome. Glad you're here with us. He talked you into it.
Well, we've been listening for a little while just to hear what was going on, and I never realized I was referred to as Savage-S.
Well, you weren't until John did that. So put that all on his head, and we will not let him get out of this one. It's good to meet you. I'm Walt. I've been knowing this man and respecting and loving him for some number of years, even before we started this crazy on-air stuff. So thank you for sharing him with us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Josh, and it is an absolute pleasure to finally meet you. He does keep you more anonymous than he keeps himself, which is pretty damn anonymous. So that's why you're probably referred to as the Savage-S, and that is only as of late. But we are super excited that you did decide to hop on. I was so disappointed when he said you weren't going to make it. But
it was a bit of a bad day, but it's fine now.
Well, you'd be surprised how just popping on here for a few minutes will have that effect. Your husband uses it as therapy sometimes. He might have a rotten day and he decides he's not going to come on because he doesn't want to deal with anybody here and anybody in chat and anybody anywhere ever again. But he
I
decides.
know.
to
I
come
get
on.
the other side of the conversation.
Does John ever not whinge, or do you only hear him whinge all the time? Or
I don't call it whinging. It's a discussion.
it's a pommy thing, a whinging thing, or whinging pom. So surely you're on our side with that one, aren't you?
Oh, definitely, yeah. But I wouldn't say it to his face.
I would.
Oh yeah, sorry, you're right here, aren't you?
Yeah, luckily we've never seen his face.
Lucky for you.
You've got a face for radio.
Yeah, we all do.
Yes, indeed we do. And
I'm Lucas, so it's nice to meet you too.
You too.
Yeah,
Where
another
are you
Aussie.
originally from, Savage S? What town are you originally from?
Sydney.
Be vague.
Oh, that's as vague as I'm getting. Sydney's a big place.
What suburb? What suburb? Street name?
Out west.
What was your first teacher's name? No.
They want to know the size of your hands and the length of your arms.
I thought they wanted to know about your forearms, actually.
Indeed.
Brilliant.
What goes in the dossier?
For you.
For you.
Well, as
how is
lovely as this has
John-
been, I'm going to sign off now because I'm going to go put 2 children to bed.
Yes,
Well,
please
thank
do.
you so
Sorry.
much.
It's been an absolute honor for you to hop on here. I didn't even think you would ask or mention or even bring it up. So then for you to actually come on just warms my heart. So thank you again for doing it. It really does. It really does mean a lot, as sad as this little group of us is, for you to come on here and just pop in and say hi. So I do appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good night.
You do
Hey,
the
nice
same.
meeting you.
Night.
Give the twins a hug
Indeed.
for us.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, there you go.
That was dope.
That
Took me ages to program that AI.
I was gonna say, dude, that's the smoothest AI I've heard yet. That's pretty. Turing is rolling over in his grave right now.
Beats Alexa, didn't it?
Oh my
Got that
gosh.
from Elon Musk, didn't you?
Yeah. I thought it was Hire Wife off of Fiverr. No, she sounds absolutely lovely, John. I'm
That's
so glad
because
she
she's
came on.
Australian. That's because
She
she's
is.
Australian.
She's
Simple as
my
that.
rock. Well, I set out to get an Australian, so yeah, mission accomplished.
I thought you were going to pull up a picture of Hori Sheet and drag and try to play it off.
Show us. I'll tell you.
Oh,
Right, anyway, sorry for that interruption. Took me by surprise completely. It just popped up on Telegram. You here? And apparently the kids have been bugging the hell out. They've been listening next door and they've been bugging the hell out of her. And yeah, it took us about 10 minutes to work out how exactly to get her on air because, you know, I gave her a week and a half's notice and had it all sorted. But on the day, you never know. Anyway.
Well, it happened. That was awesome.
Pretty close.
I could hear the what's the word? Patience in her voice.
I thought you were going to say in my voice.
Well, in yours too. Hers is definitely more practiced. She has that practiced patience that's in hers.
She is my rock. She keeps me plugged into the earth. Always. There's no floating off with large heads or stupid egos or anything else in this household, that's for sure. She is, yeah, I better not inflate her head too much either. Now I know the kids are listening, of course. Didn't have time to program that AI either, so
just
that'll have to be another day.
I wouldn't get one free.
Buy one and get one free. Yes, go to bed.
Hey Jay, if I send you a menu, can you read it on the fringe?
Sure, if you really want me to.
We're doing that shit. There's no way that's not getting done.
That's going to be a hell of an opener.
It's going to be fantastic.
Your
I mean,
appetizer.
I'm happy to do something a little more exciting than a menu, but
What do you want to
like.
do? I'm open to any ideas. I'm open to new experiences. What do you want to read, Jay?
Penthouse Forum.
Dope. Hey, I'm having a good time, guys. Thanks for bringing me on.
You're welcome. Actually, my wife is here too. So if y'all like to
Oh.
say hi to Dixie, she's sitting right here next to me.
Hi, Dixie.
Hello, Dixie.
Hi, Dixie.
See,
Hi.
Ah, nice.
Sorry, she's a little low. Try that again, babe.
Hello.
Oh, nice. I heard it.
Sorry, I'm not sure how well that's coming through.
I heard it.
You heard her?
Yeah.
All right, loud and clear. We're good. I haven't used that mic since.
So how
Donnie,
are you
yeah.
liking the new house, Dixie?
I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
She's pretty far off.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, we can still hear her.
Oh, nope. I think I know what the problem is. Actually, if somebody wants to cover for me for like 2 seconds.
Cover.
Yeah, I think I know what the issue is.
Yes, Josh has had to reset and redo quite a few things there in his new setup. So even today, we are still getting things settled out there. But
do we have anybody with hosting experience on the panel here that can take his place?
Let me take a poll. Hang on.
I don't know where we're gonna find one of those in this panel.
It might be tough.
Oh man.
How are things in New York
Well,
right now?
no,
by
I thought
the
you
way?
guys were.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang,
hosting.
man,
No
shit.
one wants to host.
Classic hosting job done.
Dead air. Yeah.
What's up, Jay? What were you saying?
What is it like in New York now? Because obviously that was one of the biggest epicenters, and you have one of the biggest shitheads of a governor.
Oh, God, what a piece of filth, right?
Well, I mean, it's obvious that guy's just like a crime boss or something. I mean, just look at him. He's like, "Yeah, you gonna do what I say, huh?"
Yeah, man, it's a freaking disaster, bro. But everything's going out of business, man. It sucks, man. And I go to diners all the time. I used to frequent diners often before all of this. And now I go and all they do is complain. They complain to me that we are barely staying afloat, or we're running a dead business, is what they tell me. Like it's only a matter of time before we're out of business. And when you're walking the streets, some things are open, but a lot of things are closed. Like a lot of stores are just gone. It's depressing. It's depressing because people have lost their livelihoods.
Yep.
A lot of people are unemployed, the homelessness. And I've been to DC also in the last month. I've been to DC twice. The homelessness over there is ridiculous. It's incredible. And everything is closed in DC. You can't buy a good time if you wanted it in DC.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. It's nuts. But yeah, like here in New York, it's a shell of what it used to be. It's not even close, like, to being the city that you would remember if you came here pre-COVID.
Last time I was there is when I saw you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
And lots
We'll
of
make that
people
happen
leaving.
again at some point, man. What's up?
Lots of people leaving.
Yeah, man. Lots of people left, even in the building that I live in. I live in the Bronx, right? So what they're doing is what they were doing before this is every borough got transformed. So all the horror stories that you would see, in movies and hear about, that's all fucking gone for the most part. Like you walk down here, man, and it's everywhere is expensive, everywhere, right? And they're redoing everything. So the Bronx is the last place they're touching. So you'll still find some hood around here, but for the most part, everything is being transformed and everything is expensive. And so people were leaving anyway. But now, after this, in my building, like, I mean, there's a ton of people I haven't seen since March because they're gone. Like my neighbor, I think he still holds the apartment, but I haven't seen him since March. Like sometimes I pick up his packages. He's gone. He's just not here. I don't know where he is, but he's not here. And there are some people that have moved out and they're not looking to come back, period. I think eventually people will come back to the city. It's New York, but I don't know if the type of damage that you're doing to this place is next level. Like so many people are being just pushed out into the streets by no fault of their own, because of these ridiculous policies that are being done. I mean, whether you believe in the virus or not, or you believe in the severity of it or not, there's something that needs to be done about the way these people are being treated. Us, these are our brothers and sisters ultimately, and they're doing it to them. Eventually it's going to happen to us. I've been fortunate enough to be able to stay afloat and my wife has been able to keep her job, so we've been okay. But most of the people out here are not doing so well. The food, I mean, the food giveaways, what do you call these food pantries, man? Oh my God. I'll take footage and send it to whomever is interested. And I mean, there's a line, a block and a half of people waiting in the cold for food.
Wow.
And I had never seen anything like that before.
It's very sad.
just, it's
like the
an
freaking
extreme
depression.
What's up, buddy?
It's like the depression again.
Yeah. It's extreme circumstances out here, man. So
I actually thought there might be a revolution after the Trump got voted out, because a lot of people voted for Trump, and I thought there was going to be more trouble than what there was.
Well, not out here in New York.
Yeah.
Out here in New York, you especially where I live, you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody who voted for Trump for several reasons, right? First off, it's a Democrat state, so they're not turning red anytime soon. But two, we're more familiar with Donald Trump than anyone in the nation, anyone in the world, because we've had to live with that son of a bitch for years upon years upon years. So a lot of people here are hip to his nonsense, right? And they're hip to the bullshit. And so they just hated him from the beginning and didn't want to vote for him because he's a piece of crap. I'm sorry if I'm insulting anybody here, but it's just the way it is. But here in New York, a lot of people were involved. I mean, there were some people, of course. I'm generalizing, but a lot of people here were just not. People here voted that have never voted before in their life just to get Donald Trump out of office. I see it. So it's a different beast over here in New York than it is in a lot of the nation. So people don't understand. They're like, oh man, Trump must have won in a landslide, or people love Donald Trump. It's different. It's different in different places. Or COVID is another thing. Oh, I don't see, COVID never affected me. It affected people out here, bro. It's a different
thing I wanted
deal.
to ask is too was I'm not pro Biden. I'm not pro Trump. I'm not
right. I'm not pro Biden either, for the record.
No, I think he's a scumbag as well. But one of the first things he did was bring in that men can play against women in sports in America. How's it going over?
Oh man, I don't. I mean, people are pretty. I don't know. My politics don't gel with most of the people here in New York. So, I mean, I'm assuming that people are for this. I'm not. That doesn't make any sense to me.
You've got girls in America. You've got a system in America where the girls can get a scholarship to go to college if they're a fast runner, and they can get their tuition paid for and grab sponsorship and stuff like that. But if men can't compete against men because they're not fast enough, so they identify as a woman, then they go and play against women and beat them, and all these legitimate women won't be able to. Well, they won't be able to go. There will be no Olympics for the girls in America anymore, will there?
Well, sure. They just go ahead and identify as males, you see, and then they then they
you know what I'm
compete.
saying there, Josh. But it's just going to destroy women's sport, and there is some fantastic women's athletes in America.
Sure,
and they're just going to get wiped out from this policy.
By the natural body strength of men and women, of course, you will have an occasional woman that could be stronger than an occasional man, but overall, there's no competition. So your sports will soon turn into the men's variety and the men's that dress up as women's variety, because they will do it for scholarships and that too. I
would have just thought that was a huge issue, a ginormous issue.
I have a problem with it, but they spin things so differently in the media. It's no different than, again, the way that they're spinning the mask for your safety when they're not safe, again, is how you can turn it around and spin it. And this is supposedly to give equality. I mean, to give equality, yes, you're going to. It's absurd. It's completely absurd. Anybody else's thoughts on this?
Well, I just want to see how many women's skulls need to get bashed in by a biological male before someone says, hey, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Because it's happened twice now in recent times.
I was going to say 2 is not enough.
So 2 is obviously not enough. 2 women's skulls bashed in by a man. That's not enough. so we're gonna keep going, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Maybe we need to get a couple of the old like Apollo Creed deaths in, complete smackdown, termination of life. Then maybe we ought to rethink this.
Nah, you just start giving the women weighted gloves. You see, you got to give them a handicap somehow.
There you go.
No, they won't do that, but they want to see how absurd they can force politically correct or spin different things under that type of veil. And this is one of the most absurd I've seen.
Oh, just ask Disney. They're fantastic at this crap.
I didn't think anyone with a brain still watched sport.
I never do. I just saw a news article. It's the only reason I even know about that. And I was like,
I'm
oh,
just
you got to be
having a
kidding me.
dig.
Biological males having fights with biological females. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, women are just going to have to step up, aren't they?
And the craziest part about it, the men who do this, their testosterone levels have to be at a certain range. That's what they say, right? Well, the range that they have to minimize at, that's like the most testosterone they can have, is 3 times that of a woman. So it's not even close to being anything fair.
It's a sick joke. It's
an it's an arbitrary number. It's like saying, well, Superman, he only gets used as pinky.
But it is being entirely set up, and if you guys take a look out and watch what's going on, you can look at Star Wars, you can look at Star Trek, you can look at all of the new stuff coming, and you will see that they are all featuring women that are big badasses, that are tough, kick ass over all of the men. They are. It's again the up and coming political correct, but I think
they're all black belt in Wing Chun, aren't they?
They are. I mean, I think
no. They're all characters.
They're wrestling characters. They are badasses, and all, the badasses in all of these series right now are the women, not the men.
Right, but
in the
most of the
Mandalorian
characters.
Well,
Well,
like
that-
the Wonder Woman type thing.
There's a story behind that, Cammy. I don't know if you know about the thing with Gina Carano. That's interesting because they just fired her because
They just fired her. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's the exception. She's actually somebody who can kick the shit out of me. But you have like these characters that are on screen. Their characters are made. They are not trained in anything. They're just the bestest ever, right out of the box. They could do anything, and they could take on 6 guys 10 times their size. No big deal. Doesn't matter. There's no hero's journey in any of it. It's just complete and utter trash.
It's Tomb Raider all over again. Just playing that game and beating the crap out of everyone as Tomb Raider. It was hilarious.
It's not realistic. It's just Gina Carano is the exception because obviously she's not tiny for one thing. And
right, she's at least got some weight and some mass.
Yeah,
but they have these
somewhere around my height, so it's like not like she's like the little British girl from Star Wars who looks like she can't beat up a wet towel.
As a male,
yeah.
This puts me off watching these. I don't even want to watch these films. I don't know what I mean. As a female, does it empower you to watch these films? Do you want to watch these films where females are just kicking crap out of everything and anything? I mean,
they sell it theatrically, and yet it feels off. It hits all of these kind of off buttons on it that the women are again one after the other, the badasses to the wussy little guys. It's too easy for me to see. I enjoy watching it, but I watch it picking out like the psychological what they're doing to it. So
yeah.
Well, it's a polarity game, isn't it? Where they're trying to drive people either to one side or the other side. And as soon as you get that polarizing effect, well, you're getting, groups of people unbalanced. And then when people are unbalanced, they're confused or whatever. They're easier to control. So it's just another control mechanism at another level, and
divide and conquer.
They're doing this at on every sort of level you can think about, and it's just to put people into a state of confusion.
And I noticed this, Lucas. Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt again.
No, you go.
Well, I just noticed it when I was in London that there were more and more reports of gangs of girls going around beating the shit out of. Like single blokes walking back from the pub or something, then you just get surrounded by 15 girls and they beat the shit out of you. And that was, that's been more and more happening in the last 20 years. Definitely where you never heard of it before. Sorry.
No, it's good. I'm not sure if is it okay to laugh at that? Because I really want to.
I could see myself in that position, walking home from the pub and being surrounded or challenged by a girl and sort of walking on laughing and then getting the shit beaten out of you by 15 of them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a big difference between 1-on-1 and 15-on-1.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the 15 women win.
Luckily, I've never been in that position.
And see, I think that's taking advantage of this whole societal precept where you just never hit a woman. It's never okay to hit a woman. And people that are raised that way believe that. So when you have 15 women coming up to beat your ass, you stand there and get your ass beat.
And that is what they're trying to change, is that respect for women, or any type of respect of women, with their programming and making them the badasses. They are trying to make it okay to hit women. And guess what?
Oh, it is.
I know when it is okay to really hit women, there's a problem, because even though we are portrayed like super women in the movies, y'all have got it on us as far as, body strength and that, just overall as a species. So yeah, on making that divide, I don't appreciate what they're doing one bit. I think we should take note at it.
An observation I've seen over the recent years is movies where men and women fight. And yeah, absolutely. They're making it more and more acceptable
and comfortable for you to like swat at a woman, and they're making the women again the way they're bringing women, mesmerizing them to be is again
violent,
smackable,
dominant as well. And the aggressors too, and
because sometimes they are
not natural.
Sometimes they are the aggressor. Sometimes they are the aggressor, and if they are the aggressor, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. If you're going to lay hands on me, you have to expect some sort of repercussion. If the dog bites, you don't pat it on the head. You don't just stand there and let it gnaw on your arm. The fact, if a woman attacks me, I would have to defend myself. That's just... You
would have to defend yourself. But again, they're changing to it used to be that you thought of as women, that even back then, if, where you don't hit a woman, you're not expected to sit there and take it and not hold her hand, or again do this. But now it's kind of taught all out, fight back, and give. I mean, the whole dynamics have changed. The women are now supposed to be the badasses, and that's how they're selling them in videos and in movies, and they will try to live up to, like, you have your girls making your girl band. So if it takes 15 of us to do it, so what? We're going to live up to that little popular culture that you're selling us, that we are the badasses. And 15-on-1, it's okay. We're just girls, but again, they're using the best and the worst and twisting it and spinning it.
Well, it's not so much the numbers of girls against or whatever, or the gangs or whatever. It's the fact that they clearly were programmed to say, it's not just blokes that can go out and rob someone or mug someone or whatever. And like you say, it's become, they've moved if the women were on the left and the males were on the right, they've moved everything to the center to say, men and women can compete in sports and violent sports, and you can get badass women, you can get badass men, and pussy women and pussy men, and it's the melding of the whole thing. We're all being turned into a Borg of one sex sort of thing. It's disturbing.
That sort of speaks to that sort of esoteric notion, which was, always known in the past as, that we are both masculine and feminine in our aspects, and they're basically moving that, these psychological components of us, and they're, manifesting them in an outward manner, and that's destructive, and they're doing it in a negative way, a destructive way, rather than a unionizing of our own internal understanding, I guess. So
yeah,
it's quite different what they're doing. They're inverting things as they usually do, and making them negative.
You know, sometimes Budweiser decides they need to make more than Budweiser, Bud Light. And they reach out and they start making malt liquors and flavored alcoholic waters, and because they realize there's not enough people, you know, buying what they're selling, so they have to get a bigger piece of the market share, and they have to start marketing to a more specific niche audience. And that's really what this feels like. I think I got the mic problem sorted out. Apparently you have to plug the cables in. But Dixie was saying that it's
no, that's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, see, that makes sense. That makes sense. But Dixie was saying in a professional setting, it's getting to the point where in your email signatures, you are to put your preferred pronoun and how you like to be referred. And that's a professional setting.
Wow.
They're just trying to make it as ridiculous as possible, aren't they?
ASCE is a engineering organization, and I've noticed that the emails that come from them already have it on there. My preferred pronoun is they.
Good audio.
Well, what happens if you write back and I don't care what your preferred pronouns are?
That would only happen if my work filter malfunctioned, which does happen. Yeah, I'd gaff. Yeah, I would just respond that back sometimes, but
unbelievable.
Anyway, this is my wife, Dixie, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome, Dixie.
hello. Thanks for having me.
Nice
Hi,
to meet
Dixie.
you.
Hello. Hi, Walt. Hi, Zach. Hi, everybody. I feel like those are the two I know the best.
She's heard my crap for a long time now. Glad you're here.
Have you met Dixie in person, Walt?
I have not. I did not.
Oh, you haven't met Josh in person, have you?
Only Zach has done that.
No, that's not true.
Bob and Kimmy have.
Oh, I meant
And
Bobby
Jaron.
Kimmy too. I mean, I forget that because that one didn't happen to my knowledge. That was like y'all's thing. I missed it. So yeah, but I knew Zach was there for sure.
So yeah, there was Bob, Dixie, and Zach, and then Hank, of course. Hank, who's
And
should
Minion.
be around somewhere. Yeah, Minion was there. Minion was there too.
How are Sibby and Esme like in the new house?
They are thoroughly enjoying it with all that clutter not there. Imagine this, they have room to run. And they really like the yard, but they haven't gotten to explore it in its totality yet. So as soon as we get fence, I think they're going to love it even more.
So, Dixie, how long did it take you to convince Josh that the Earth was flat and stationary?
I don't think I contributed anything to that. I remember when he actually approached me with the conversation and I was confused as all get out. I remember we were in a hallway and he just came, huge eyes, and starts asking me all these questions about what do you remember about the solar system? And I'd like immediately go back to a 6th grade experiment where they have one person stand in the center and they're the sun. And then they put 7 or 8 people, I forgot how many planets there were in 1980, whatever. But they put all these people in a row and had them spinning in circles and then rotating around one another. And this is how the solar system works. And I never really thought about it. I never really cared, I guess. It never really made sense. But when he started, I think he broke my brain that first time, for sure.
Fantastic.
And she's not willing to say that she's a flat earther. We were out last weekend, and I think her friends like to get me revved up a little bit just to wind me up and watch me go type of thing.
We try every week, Josh. It doesn't work. How can Dixie? How do we wind Josh up enough to let him go? And
Well, first of all, you got to get him to turn on the camera because you got to see the vein that pops out in his forehead and temple because that adds the added effect.
Oh yes.
He's got the fuzzy camera on now, so it's all like, what is that?
Fuzzy cam.
Is that why he wears the hat all the time so we can't see it?
That's why I wear the hat, and that's why the camera's far away and why the camera's up.
It's in like
I too have a
GTA
face
mode
for
at the
radio.
moment. It's like turns you into. Well, your camera's not even on anymore.
No, it's not. Well, I told Dixie I'd keep her out of it, and you might catch a knee or something, so I didn't want to break my word.
Knee.
She got bad knees.
She said she didn't want to be on camera, so on camera she will not be.
No part of me shall be.
Just so yeah. Just so y'all know, we met her in person, and she's darling. Absolutely adorable.
Aww.
But I imagine there's a good reason to be scared of this group.
But even then,
People
last weekend,
always-
she was willing to stand up and say, look, I know it sounds crazy, but if you just listen to him, he makes some really good points. And by the end of the conversation, he's going to have you questioning some things you thought you knew for sure.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately, the friend that he tells this to every time is usually loaded by that time. So she never remembers the conversation, but she knows she was almost convinced.
Yeah, you can't mix alcohol, and this is like religion or politics or any of those other things you don't talk about while drinking. Flat
Is that
Earth.
why
you
I
can
don't remember
add
the
that to the
conversation?
That could be it, John. That could be it.
If it wasn't for observation, when not drinking either, I still don't remember the night before. So
So you might as well just not quit drinking.
that is an idea. I want to know how Rose and Jason met, and whether Dixie has any questions for Rose.
Well, we originally saw each other at the Free Your Mind 4 conference in 2016. And then we started with we never can remember who did who, but one of us added the other on Facebook from just a bunch of mutual friends and such. We started talking, and one thing led to another, as these things do.
Don't they, though?
Is that it? No buildings falling and
No, I can't really embellish. It would be bullshit.
Rose, I want to hear your
Well,
side.
we wouldn't know, Jason. That's the thing.
Well, that's true. But yeah, we were just talking a lot. Took the course of a few months. I can't remember exactly now. It's been a few years now. But yeah, it just one thing kind of spiraled to the next, and we both ended up single, and that was that. Just kind of worked.
So who found Flat Earth first?
Well, I have been. Let me think. When did I start Secrets of Saturn? First time I ever dealt with anything with Flat Earth was with David Weiss before he was really, really well known, before he was David Weiss. Everybody knows who he is. 5 or 6 years ago now, I can't remember exactly, and it was around the time that Crow and I met too, because I had done episodes with them really close together. But yeah, I'm trying to remember how far back this was, because man, time has passed. You know, we're about to hit our 300th episode of Crow 777 Radio, and it's just like, holy shit, we have done a lot of content.
Yeah, that's
I'm
amazing.
up to
And you've been pumping out like 2 episodes a week. That's
2
crazy.
a week.
I
It never
can't keep up.
It's oh my goodness, yeah.
I'm on 284.
We are busy.
Still going strong. Well, has Rose done a runner or?
Well, I'm in my studio and she's over in her bedroom, so I don't know. But since she's not responding, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to have to do a runner very soon because I have to go pick up my daughter. She works on my friend's farm, and she just texted me that she's going to be done shortly.
Gotcha. Well, I'm super glad you guys were able to make it on.
Absolutely. And she did say she would be right back. I did see it in chat a moment ago.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
She's indisposed at the moment, but not. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing and being here with us, friend. And excited for that damn debut of you on the guitar there, friend. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because that's a whole other aspect of me that you guys don't know. And
At all. That's why I'm really excited.
I mean, you hear, if you watch my live streams, you've heard one of my songs, but I've got plenty more than that. So it's like maybe people in the audience will actually know at least one of my songs, which is
There
nice
you go.
when you're an original musician, where people know none of your songs. So,
Make that the encore. Make that the encore. No, I'm just kidding.
well, here's the thing: I've got to do well, or else I'm just going to be embarrassing myself. Because
can we have one of your songs?
What do you mean? Can we have one?
Like live now. Cole.
You know.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, the
Like-
rights. Just give us the rights.
permission to play it. No, we'll give you all the royalties. I mean, all the money we make.
All of it.
We'll pass
Jingle.
We'll pass it on to you.
I'm still waiting for my payment. So
You say, yeah, ask Lucas about the big money he's making.
I've got a blank check here.
Stefan, for that matter.
But yeah, no, before Jason Lindgren gets famous for his superior music that is going to take the world by storm. And, yeah, I thought we'd get in there quickly and just say, you know, can we have the rights to play one of your songs?
I would say yes, other than the fact that I'm linked up with CD Baby and an official performing rights organizations, all that. And even if I give you the rights, they've been hitting crow for shit after I've told them 100 times not to. And it would probably, quite honestly, be bad. You'd probably just start getting your stuff pinged all the time because they're kind of merciless about this stuff nowadays, and their algorithms are so good.
That's why we're on this channel today.
Yeah. So if you try to do anything anywhere that goes out, they'll start pinging you for it.
Yeah, fair enough. I didn't know you were so far down the track of getting an album. Is it an album? Or?
Well, I put out an EP 6 years ago, and I have a bunch of stuff written, and I plan on doing more. I just, the biggest problem right now that I've had forever is I can't find musicians who are awake to anything to play with. And just your average run-of-the-mill musician guys, I mean, there's tons of them in the New Orleans area, but they're all ding-dongs. They're about ego, and that nobody wants to listen. They all want to be the boss when they can't tie their shoes properly. And it's a really frustrating thing being a musician who's a studio engineer, who owns all the gear, who is the singer, who is the songwriter, who is the main guitarist, who owns all the gear, who has a studio to play in, but all these people think that they should be in charge. And it's like, we can work together, but no, you're not in charge. So
you're not even kidding, Jason. And I started to experience that for the first time. It's like being in a band is like being married, but it's more complicated because it's more people.
Cool, I bet.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you need a drummer, hit me up, Jason.
I need everything. I mean, I don't know who's hearing this, but I need a second guitarist, a bass player, a keyboardist, and a drummer. I need everything. I'm the singer. I would like people with backup vocals. Like, I want the whole thing.
I know that guy.
But
you know people
who are physically in this area, and that's the problem. Is because there's great people all spread out, but don't you want the people to physically be here, Jason, in the New Orleans area?
Well, yeah, because you can't really get tight as a band if you don't get tight as a band.
Yeah,
so.
you got to hang out in the same space.
Yeah, you got to be right.
We have a bit of an issue there, Jason.
I used to know a few people in New Orleans.
I disagree. We've been tight as a band on Iron Rail Media for quite a while now, and most of us haven't even met. Is there a way that you can actually logistically jam over the internet? I presume there's timing.
There's too much latency.
There's too much. There's no predictability. I thought about this, and the great Baldini and I have talked about this multiple times. The problem is there's no predictability with whose latency is going to be what to get everything to sync up. Now, if somebody actually created a full-blown system where it was a server that everything ran through, because we've talked about this, we actually had ideas.
That's what I was
it would have to be a unified server that your bandwidth would have to be X amount good, or you couldn't use it properly, because it would have to be able to transmit, and then everybody would have to be then you'd have to be transmitting a digital signal, so you'd have to be at the same bit rate and sample rate. So it's like there's all these things when you start getting into audio that it's different than what we're doing now.
You'd need like an atomic clock that was measuring everyone's bandwidth and how quickly they were coming to the central server, and then it was put out, and then
it's just not fast enough. Like, even when you're trying to record with yourself and you're routing through the program and trying to listen to your own playing, you're getting a delay,
latency.
And that's just through your own computer, and that latency is nearly impossible to play with.
Me and Zach quite often listen to music together over the internet. I don't know if Zach's he's still here. And yeah, literally, if you're hosting, then you can sing along. But if you're listening, then you can't because you ruin the entire thing. So yeah, I can understand it's a bit.
The only way to play with someone at a distance is to actually record in your own on your own device and then send the tracks over and actually.
Right, that's the only alternative. Is for everyone to record separately and then Jason put it together.
Yep.
But even that is hard if they don't understand how to follow instructions.
Yeah, I had that problem too.
I've been doing that with
or use a click track.
Marty Leeds. So
click track. What's a click track? Never heard of a click track.
I think we have a caller. Thanks for calling Iron Realm. This is who are we speaking with?
Hey, Josh, Corey.
Hey, what's up, Nemo? I figured this was you.
I told you a 248 number.
I just saw messages. I didn't even have a chance to click the messages to show you that I read them because I was busy trying to get the flat line up so that I'd be able to answer when you called.
Well, how's
Nemo,
everybody going?
Happy Valentine's.
I've talked to most of you, not at you, or vice versa.
Happy Valentine's, Nemo.
So, yeah. Well, I have a question because no one brought it up yet. What do you guys do for your significant other to make them feel that they're loved every day? For me, I make sure that I scratch my wife's back and spend at least 10 minutes with her, regardless of how I feel.
Well,
that's easy. Iron Maiden.
Nice.
That's that's a good one, Jason. Jason, you do so many things for me to show me that you love me that I just can't even think. There's so many, and so I love you and appreciate you. And I like to make you good food to show you that I love and appreciate you. That's one of my favorite things.
She made me awesome food today. In fact, yes, we have a give and take relationship. I help her with a lot of stuff, and then she does things for me in return. That's just the way it works.
Yeah, it's the best way to do
the way
it.
it should work.
Yeah, I think we're good at relationships. We should write a book.
And Cammie is absolutely amazing at giving every day to me. It absolutely blows me away. She's just always, concerned about whether or not I'm content or if I have enough of this or enough of that. She's always just kind of doting over me, and it's really amazing. It spoils me rotten, honestly. And I try and do, what I can do for her, like make her coffee in the morning and stuff like that. But somehow it's just kind of pales in inadequacy, compared to all the amazing things that she does for me. So that's why I love her. And she's incredibly smart.
That's very cute.
Oh, wow. Turning bright red here.
All you guys knocking this stuff out on a daily basis. Jesus.
Daily, yeah.
I'm lucky to remember it at all. So if I can remember to make her feel special, I'm going to jump on the chance. But I worry that
You do. It's the little things. Like coffee is my love language. You always make sure that I have coffee in the morning when I wake up and it's hot and fresh. Whereas I have to do that shit every day at work and take care of other people. But you make sure I'm taking care of at home. And that means a lot.
That's cute too.
There's nothing more loving than coffee loving for a woman. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Dixie? I mean, that is.
You should see all the signs that we have in our kitchen. Like you would walk in and think that we're probably coffee addicts, which may or may not be true. We're not going to discuss that, but
there's nothing wrong with that.
Right? Everybody needs their vice.
So what if we have 5 or 6 vices?
I'll take coffee to the grave.
I'm actually learning to kind of like it black. Like it's bean juice.
Bean juice?
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing. Just bitter.
But then I can't help but think every time I drink black coffee and start to enjoy it, that study where they did with psychopaths, and they realized that a very common trait in psychopaths is they like their coffee black.
Really?
I know a lot of weird random facts that don't apply to anything.
You gotta have
that's
the
really
regular creamer.
interesting.
So I'm not a psychopath because I have to have tons of creamer.
Oh yeah, lots of cream and sugar, friend. Don't worry.
Creamer, cinnamon, whipped cream, Bob. He likes it all.
There you
All
go.
those things are wonderful.
The cutest thing I've ever heard, well, not ever heard, but my boss's husband. I had asked him one time how he liked his coffee, and he said sweet and blonde, like my wife. I just thought it was so cute. So you can use that, Bob, because
That's
Cammie's
great.
blonde.
There you go.
Well,
Or who? I
speaking
know
of
that was
significant others. This is my wife, Sally.
Hi,
Hello.
Sally. Hi, Sally. That is so awesome we get to speak to you today. Happy pre-Valentine's Day. Pre-Valentine's
I
Day.
appreciate that. Happy Valentine's Day to you guys as well.
Well, I'm so excited, Nemo, we managed to get you on here. I actually hear quite a bit about you. I don't know if I get a chance to speak to him, but he leaves me messages on occasion. And yeah. So, yeah, he's spoken of you often. So I'm excited to get a chance to finally talk to you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, I figured, like Savage, I have absolutely no idea what I'm getting her for Valentine's Day, so this helps grease the wheels.
So, Sally, we heard what Nemo says he does to make you feel special. Would that be your answer as well, or did you have something else in mind?
Well, for me, he does a lot more than that. Just that. That's just a few things that he can think of off the top of his head. But he shows me his loving every day. Honestly, we've been together for going on 15 years now.
That's awesome.
Every day's a new day. I love it.
Definitely interesting.
That's brilliant. That was a great question, Nemo.
So
didn't hear from you, Lucas.
Well, real quick, before we get to Lucas, I just had another question for Sally real quick. I want to hear how you guys met.
We met under an awkward situation. Nemo's girlfriend was sleeping with my husband.
That's awkward.
That's very awkward. Yes, they were our neighbors, and we came really close after all is said and done, and we've just been blooming since there. Truthfully, it was a really messed up situation, and he was my light. I loved it.
That's gorgeous.
Every crisis we come through, we get stronger. Can you name where I got that from?
Well, she went right from her practice husband to the real one.
That's right. That's right.
I'm pretty sure I do. I'm pretty sure I do know where that came from, John.
Yeah, I think you do. And
that's what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's
one day
a pretty screwed up story. And I think Josh has got a screwed up story as well, but from previous relationships too. So you're not alone. Don't worry about it.
Well, what it was is we were just all living in the same neighborhood. They moved in like a year after I had settled in, and they had a bunch of people at the house, I'll put it that way. It looked crazy over there before I even went over, and I guess we ended up introducing myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. The ex was with me at the time, and we went over and said hi to the neighbors like neighbors do, and then we started hanging out. And the one thing left to another.
They were hanging out a little bit more.
They were hanging out a little more. And when it was all said and done, I just kind of looked at her and I said, well, we might as well give it a shot. They're going for it.
Yeah, why not? Let's try this. Completely different than what I was used to. Honestly.
Total Jerry Springer action. That's usually how I describe it.
That's brilliant. However it works for you, that's cool. What did you say, Rob?
Yeah, I said, are them two still together?
You're eating dim sims again, aren't you?
Oh, no, they moved to Texas and then have since divorced.
No, that's good.
Rob always takes pleasure in others' misfortunes.
Yes. my ex-wife was named Sally.
Hey guys, I got to dip real quick, man. I gotta go. I just want to say bye to all of y'all. Thank you for giving me
Bye,
time.
Billy. Nice talking to you.
It was fun. Nemo,
Much
what's
love,
good? You're
Billy.
still on. Nice to talk to you.
Yes, you have a wonderful evening.
Nice to meet you, Billy.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Be good,
Bob,
Billy
and
Ray. Hit me
Billy.
up this weekend.
Night, Billy.
I'll hop on
Candy,
Sunday. I'll come
Sending
say
love
hi.
over to the wife.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you, guys. Rose,
night.
thank you. It was good. Rob, John, Zach,
See you, Bill.
everybody. I don't think I missed anybody, but if I did, my apologies. Cammy and everybody else. God bless you guys. Thank you. Bye.
You're a
Bless you,
star.
Billy.
Cheers, mate.
Love to you and your wife.
Jason and I have to go as well, guys. It was so great hanging out with you, and I hope you all have a wonderful Valentine's Day.
Thanks.
Well, keep
Rose.
getting
See you,
better,
Rose.
Rose.
Keep
Thanks,
getting better,
Jason.
stronger. Can't wait to see you on Sunday,
Yeah,
Rose.
we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Cammy. I love you. Bye.
I
Good
love
night.
you. Miss you, baby. Bye-bye.
Keep the live streams
Bye,
coming.
Rose.
Rob, do you want to talk us through what happened?
What?
Your end?
My end?
With your wife?
With your.
She
with the-
left.
It's your turn.
Pretty sure she met somebody else, but yeah.
Because of Flat Earth, or?
Oh, that was a big part of it. Massive big part of it. I changed as a person.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, it changes people.
I was all alone because now you're not going to have anyone sort of around you. I had nobody. Well, I suppose I had that one person, I suppose, at work that was sort of backing me up. But yeah, no, I just had. Yeah, it was just, it just changed me, and she was never ever going to come around. And it's all, when we first got into this stuff, it was all we thought about and all we did. We got as much info as we could in the space of a couple of years, didn't we? It was just full on.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't get enough of it.
But do you think it would have gone the same way regardless of Flat Earth, or?
Well, she was accepting the 9/11 stuff and the Sandy Hook and the Boston because but it was the Flat Earth. It's just how ridiculous Flat Earth is for most of the population, and she wasn't really interested. But it was all I talked about.
Even though you were a rare breed of flirter that actually went out there with cameras and experiments, and you were testing it for yourself. I mean, that's how I brought my wife and kids around, was actually bringing them to my experiments and showing them. I mean, that didn't work, no, obviously.
And see, my friends, they all won me up too. I've had to ditch all my friends. I've told you this before. I've had to ditch all my mates because they know how to wind me up.
Yeah, they weren't.
Josh, you get a vein in your head that pops out. I'd have 50 of them. That when they wind me up, and I can't live like that anymore.
But they were mates, they, Rob? I mean,
yeah, they
anyone...
were, but they were only joking. But they were only joking. I know they were, but I'm not going to put up with it anymore. But it's just relentless,
Yeah, comes a point.
And I think I'm a bit happier now. I don't have to deal with the shit anymore.
Do you think years down the line, those without massive egos will come back to you and go, "Shit, Rob,
no.
Sorry, I gave you such a ribbon. You were right."
Yeah, but I don't think Flat Earth will ever come out into mainstream.
When they hear it on News 9, maybe?
Yeah, no. It'll never ever come out.
At least not seriously. It'll always be there in ridicule, though.
Yeah. I just don't think it'll be ever something that 50% of us believe.
Well, they can't. They can't. So. They just can't. It would end the world as we know it. We know that, and so do they.
I tend to think differently. I think it will come out. It will be announced on even mainstream news, and for exactly that reason, that it will change the world as we know it.
Are you going to give us a date, John?
No, but
so we can live up to that date, like you.
No,
it would give power back to people, though. That's the problem. Their aim is control, and if you're, if they're coming out and then undermining everything that they've done, they're, attacking their own control base.
But if we're living in a petri dish and someone's having a play with our emotions, our physiology, our psychology, everything, then couldn't that be the next play? Hey, let's reveal to them that they have all been lied to. Like the Bible says, in the end days, everything will be revealed. So I don't know. I mean, I know.
Yeah,
it's
well, that's
utopian.
but you know,
Wouldn't it be interesting,
can
though?
be revealed through their system going away. But as long as their system, you know, has as much power as it does now, it's not going to come out and, you know, undermine its own base.
Well, I'm talking full on V, you know, where we take control of the broadcast mediums and start broadcasting stuff that, you know, is undeniable. That's what I'm talking about. V for Vendetta sort of thing. We take back control of the BBC, Channel 9, Fox News, all the rest, and we start transmitting truth. And
Are you talking about a siege truth?
Siege truth. Is that what you said?
Yeah, go lay siege on the mainstream.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is somehow hijacking the broadcast mediums out there and doing what V for Vendetta did and transmitting truth all day, every day, and that's all you've got to watch. So no one else. So you wouldn't be able to flick over to watch CNN or Fox or whatever. It would just be all channels showing truth documentaries and stuff like that. You know,
Sounds
for a month
ridiculous.
straight.
I honestly think that one of my mates nearly was a flat earther, but he never ever admitted. It was just a few things he posted here and there, but then he saw how people treated me, so there was no way in hell he was coming out and admitting to it. I just got the feeling that he was looking into it a little bit more than what he was saying, you know, if you know what I mean. But he just saw what was he didn't want to go through the ridicule, and he's a very vain sort of person, so he was never ever going to do what I did.
Well, it takes a certain sort of person to put yourself through this, doesn't it? I mean, it's not, as we know.
Yeah, some people have to know.
See,
you have to find those people.
Bob and Cammy and Zach have got a household full of people they share the same mindset with, and that'd be fantastic. I don't know. Bob? Do you go to parties? And Cammy, do you go to parties where you've got to explain yourself to people very often?
No, not really, because the parties we go to are flat earther parties, especially for the past 6 years.
Yeah. And
we went to a family party once, and my mom introduced us as a strange and wonderful family. She said the rest of the family was wonderful, and that me and Bob were strange. It worked.
Wear it with honor.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
no, I hear what you're saying, Rob.
Very difficult, yeah, very difficult. Because I went to that party, you know, I've said this before. There was people there at the party that I went to school with who knew nothing about. It was only my really, really close 4 or 5 mates that knew sort of something, and they were telling everyone at this party. There would have been 40 or 50 people at the party, and then it was just everyone's eyes just turned on me, and you know everyone's drinking, and then it's just I've got to explain myself in front of
you can't do that, especially when people are drinking.
Yeah. And it was 1 o'clock in the morning. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and they're still into me. I couldn't go anywhere. My car was there. I was actually staying at that place for the night. I couldn't go anywhere. And
there's a setting when it comes to dealing with this sort of stuff.
It's very difficult to get a group of people. You might be able to go one-on-one with somebody and show them stuff, but when you've got a group of people, when they're all against you,
and everybody's shouting out 10 different things.
And they're talking to each other, and they're laughing at you, and bloody.
There
might be legitimate questions, but they'll laugh at you.
Yeah.
What you do is you turn on a David Weiss interview. You go to YouTube and you turn on one of his interviews.
They wouldn't even listen to it. Zach.
No,
when you first got into Flat Earth, like David Weiss posted videos, I think of Dave Murphy, I think is the first one that I ever saw. How hard was it for you guys to even click on that first one?
Oh, 4 months.
I found it hard. It took me a few weeks, but David Weiss was he put a few things out there. Obviously, he
It actually took a life
He took a while to come forth with anything as well. But just to click on that first video was unbelievable, wasn't it? Just to force yourself to, and finally I did it. But yeah,
I had just lost my dog, and coming out of that like depression is what got me to be like, okay, I'm gonna click on it. I don't know what it was. It was weird. But before that, no, there was no chance. It was months. I've been hearing about it, watching crow videos, people in chat, in the comments talking about flat. I was like, man, these people are retarded. I almost can't. I'm just not going to go into the comments anymore.
Because I was watching David Weiss stuff, the Boston bombing stuff, and that's how I found him. So I loved him. I thought he was fantastic. And then he started posting this flat, and I was filthy. I was filthy that he'd gone that way, because that just changed the way I thought about him. And then I didn't unfollow, I didn't unsubscribe, but eventually I clicked on one.
I was completely opposite. I loved Flat Earth, so I heard about it. I'm like, what's this?
Oh, yeah. Once I clicked on that first one, away we went. But it was the initial clicking on that first one. So the moment you saw it, so the first time you ever saw one, Lucas, you clicked on it straight away.
You hopped right away. That's what I was.
Well, I just come across the bit of the stuff with the 200 proofs, and then I was like, and then it just triggered me, and then it sort of sat in the back of my mind, and then I was trying to look for Flat Earth stuff to get more. I was like, okay, what are they actually talking about?
Once I clicked on that one, it was away. There probably was 20 that day.
I'm the same as you, Lucas. I exactly the same as you. I didn't even hear about Flat Earth. I was just listening to the higher side chats, one interview after the next, and the next one up, whether it was about Bigfoot or aliens or whatever, I was just like, yeah, whatever. And then the next one up was Eric DeBay on Flat Earth, and it was like, yeah, whatever. And the moment I heard that, it was like, I've said this so many times, it was like a Tetris wall where just all the gaps got filled in and it all just disappeared, and it was fantastic because I'd spent 3 years researching the moon landings into absolutely everything, the Elias or whatever it was websites, looking at the photos, the rinky-dink bloody lem, everything about it. And I knew for a fact that the moon landings were fake, but I never knew why. And then when I heard this podcast with Eric DeBay on the higher side chats, it was just bang, everything just slotted into place, and I couldn't get enough of it after that. It was just boosh. But yeah, there wasn't much of it around at that point. That was March 2015.
Well, I wasn't focused on the Flat Earth stuff whatsoever. I was just trying to figure out what was actually going on in the world, and I was looking all at economic stuff. And so once you sort of look at the economics for so long, you're right, well, that's complete, you can see it's a complete fabrication and a Ponzi scheme. And so as soon as I sort of clicked over to the Flat Earth stuff, it wasn't hard because you knew that they lied about your basic operating system of the monetary system.
Yeah.
So it was very easy to go. Yeah, once you see that the very foundation of why we work and things like that is undermined by this corrupt, and they're telling lies about it or not telling you about it at all.
And
it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing, and you flip over to Flat Earth, and it's got all the same elements. So
once you realise
quick as quick.
The inversion too is that whatever they're telling you, the opposite and absolute opposite is almost certainly true or more true. Then when they tell you that you're living on a spinning ball, then the absolute inversion of that is a stationary plane. And it was just like, yep, of course.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
See, I guess I hadn't gotten to the inversion stage quite yet. I was fully wrapped up in NASA. I had grown up with intentions of being an astronaut. From the first moon landing on, saw them all, watched all the launches, till they killed the second group up there, and I couldn't figure out why that was happening. And then I quit watching them and didn't know any of that was a hoax. You know, it was a real hump for me to get past NASA because I was such a fanboy, truly over the top with it. And then, you know, sci-fi and aliens and the whole 9 yards. It's been a lot of years doing the research for what might be flying around up there and fucking with people in the middle of the night. And so, yeah, I had a lot of things I had dug deeply into and invested a lot of time and energy to suddenly go, wait, what? So not only is this thing possibly not a big old spinning ball, but all that other shit is bullshit too. Wait, I've seen pictures. I've seen the moon landing. And so then, you know, I sit down and do my own research and watch ABC presents Man to the Moon. And they start showing cartoons and fucking anime. And I'm like, what? I was 2 when I saw this. There were grown people that watched this shit and believed it. What the hell was wrong with y'all? You know? So, yeah, I went back and had to let go of a lot. So it was probably 2 weeks before I clicked the first one, Rob.
I had a guy at school when I was about 8 or 9 years old that was saying that the moon landing was fake. So it was early 80s. Early 80s. Oh, we just laughed at him. He was ridiculed beyond belief.
With the right resources, yeah, you could have proved the moon landings were fake in the 80s, I imagine.
Right. Well,
it come from his mum and dad.
And the same with JFK and that sort of thing. I mean,
right. Well, see, that was my teeth there. That was me. I mean, literally, I would remember like an old TV thing in the 70s when I was a child that kind of frightened me about the JFK assassination and the man in the bush and all this stuff, you know, and it kind of scared me, but intrigued me. And that was when I was like, probably what, 5, 6, something like that. So, but I remember a book in high school about the moon landing being faked and all kind of picture anomalies and all that. And I looked and I had a judgment, a good eye judgment for photographs and art by that point. And I could see a lot of things that didn't judge right, you know, didn't work right. But to me, it was, I justified it with the whole like
Capricorn 1.
Love
Remember
that movie. Exactly. Love that movie.
78
at least.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, and I mean,
but my justification was, well, we couldn't
you.
make the first one work. We faked it, had to, but the rest were real. You know, I mean, that's how biting their bullshit I was at one point.
Or it was the alien thing, you know, we did get there, but we weren't
the aliens
allowed back.
That's
right.
That's what it was for me. I was
Or
a big
Hoagland with
believer
his
in Hoagland.
crystals.
Yep.
Oh, Hoagland, dude. I was all about
and Mars and
on
Sidonia.
Oh, dude, the
And there's
layout.
crystal palaces on the moon.
Oh, dude, yeah. The whole night.
Sidonia on Mars was a big one for me.
Yep,
And,
the
you know,
layout.
I'm looking at that. So the whole thing, you know, for me was I was a huge believer in it too, but I knew that NASA was faking all this stuff. But my reasoning behind it is that, you know, they just didn't want to give up the existence of aliens and stuff, you know, outside because people couldn't handle it. Right. And then one day I'm reading Clues Forum. Right. And some guy just put in a proposition. Well, let's look at some things surrounding flat Earth. And after reading that article, I sat there and thought about it for like 10 minutes. And I said, Cammie, I think the Earth is flat. And I proceeded to show it to her. It was like, that's all it took was that article. Everything fell into place.
So surely Cammie said to you right there, Bob, you're full of shit.
Something like that. She was not on board exactly, but she did look into it.
But so, Bob, it was the Clues Forum, was it, that knocked you over the edge? Because they're still not flat Earth, are they? They're still...
No. But there are a couple guys on there
cool.
that are definitely leaning that way. I can tell it. You know, Hoi Polloi is one of them, and I never thought Hoi Polloi would ever do that. Simon Shack still...
Really? Hoi Polloi's coming his way.
Yeah, Hoi Polloi is coming around. Simon
years.
Shack is not, but I still enjoy the hell out of that forum. I think it's
I have to ask,
one of the best. Yes.
What was the impetus? What made you decide to sit and do the ISS feed at the beginning of all this? Because that was my nights of Tuesdays. Was you, Jaron? Was it TJ, JT? I forget.
TJ and Morgan.
Oh, it was
and then
early
Morgal.
days. I'm talking.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was pre-Morgal even. So yeah,
it was TJ then.
Like, TJ, yeah.
Watching this stuff and going, and I was like a firm go to the ISS live feed, you know, but I would always go watch the pretty ones from 3 days ago or 2 weeks ago. I didn't know. And then I would watch it live with you guys and go, holy shit. Oh my God, look at this. This is ridiculous. It's dark on one camera and light on the other. And oh my God, yeah, it's nuts.
Yep. Or I used to like to pull up like the weather satellites or Himwari
compare
and
it, right,
compare
right.
them. And
Compare
it's like
it, right.
they
And it's
were
not
not
even
even the same universe. It was so
no parallax.
ridiculous.
Just a
Nope.
big sheet rolling down the screen. Oh yeah, dude, it was brilliant. I loved it. Those were my Tuesday nights. So yeah, just what made you think that was the way to go, just to kind of make other people see it? Because it definitely showed me a lot.
Honestly, that was Jaron's idea. Jaron said we should just do an ISS watch party and point this stuff out and sit around and laugh at the ISS, and then we can have people on and they can comment on it, and there it was. That's exactly what we did, and it turned out to be really popular. It was awesome.
You couldn't have started a better place, I think, sir.
It was,
definitely, and it's evolved great for sure. But that to me was like the kind of the cementing of like, well, yeah, these fuckers are lying. Everything they're doing is a lie, because this is the biggest fake shit I've ever seen. We come back 3 days later and it was all beautiful.
In comments, his classic comment, he said he wanted to use his video skills to destroy flat Earth, but his intuition and spidey sense went off very quick. Still, it took him 8 months before he reached the point of no return, 8 hours a day on average. Yeah,
that's about my schedule.
Right.
That's about my schedule, Horry. The same thing. A lot of going to the beach, making sun videos, a lot of watching the ISS crap, a lot of digging through old news to see what they showed us back then. And fight, man, it was the biggest hump. It really was, to get rid of space. I mean, that was my place. I'd been to space. Of course, I had to realize that was a astral place I had been and work all those things out. And that all changed as well. So, but yeah, and I'm sure you dealt with that too, Horry, because I know you've done quite a few astral journeys, my friend.
I mean, my tipping point was seeing too far, was going down, working out the maths as to what I could see if I was looking out across this shore, and I shouldn't be able to see the Isle of Portland from 4 miles, let alone 30 miles or whatever it was. What were other people's sort of tipping points on that? And of course the gyroscope.
I think it was you, me. It was you, me, and Adam that really put emphasis on that, the maths, but as well, John. Then Jaron sort of got into it after we did, and we all proved to ourselves that the maths, the 8 inches per mile squared is close, and it's good enough for the small numbers, I suppose, 40, 50 miles, the small numbers. If you want to go any higher, then it gets a bit out there. But that's what you had to prove to yourself.
Or 500, say 500 miles. I think it's pretty dead on.
It gets out there after about 100 miles, I reckon.
But yeah, no, we did.
Out there.
I remember having endless maths podcasts or debates or a Wednesday night show and boring the shit out of Walt and Josh.
Yeah, my name is Josh.
I was going to say, and that Josh guy, just the math whiz too. Yeah,
but we had to prove that to ourselves, didn't we? That's and once you proved to yourself,
and we got that
the maths is right.
The maths, just like
the maths is right. Then
right.
I know when I look at an island that's 30 mile away, and there's plenty of them around here, I shouldn't be seeing them. And that's simple as that. Done. Case
right.
Closed.
So you guys were doing. Go ahead, Zach. I was just going to say, you guys were doing Flat Earth before Jaron was?
I think we were all doing it.
No. He was starting off his videos just as we met. Yeah.
Just as we all were doing the meetups.
Yeah. Jaron was doing videos he was one of probably the first people.
He was one of the first, his separate raw thing, and then he had this little app thing that would tweet anything on Twitter, some kind of little squirrel emblem was involved. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, that was as we were kind of getting inspired to say, well, shit, we're doing this in these little chat rooms. Why don't we all get together and do it on Hangout? And then we did that for a while. And I'm like, well, hell, we could do this on YouTube. Bob and them can do it. We can do it. We just essentially said, well, shit, let's take this conversation on air. And that's kind of what we still do. It seems.
Now, Walt, when you went back and said, how did he, on the starting and that on it, and how did Bob, what made him put himself out there on YouTube? I don't know how many people know this, but Bob was an accidental YouTuber.
Totally.
Total accidental YouTuber. He never
You
set
hit
out
the live
to.
stream button by accident.
No, what happened is as you know, Jaron early on did laser tests and that, and we donated. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but we donated the laser, and
I do
Jaron.
remember all that.
Yeah, Jaron called and said thank you, and he and Bob got to talking, and he found out Bob was a pilot and found out different things about Bob and would call him on questions on things, but they would talk for hours. I mean, just for hours. And Jaron would have questions on how things would work, and they'd, do things back and forth and, discuss anything and everything for hours. And one of the weeks, Jaron said that, he was just completely overwhelmed with email and questions and that, and he felt bad because he felt like he had to answer everybody. And he thought it might be more efficient to just get on live and go through the questions and instead of type it all out, answer really quickly. And he asked Bob, some of the questions are technical. Do you mind coming on and helping? And Bob did. They got on the show. They didn't take any questions. They got to talking. They kept on talking. Forgot to read the questions. Forgot to answer anything. But Glowbusters was born from that. So people liked it.
Beautiful chemistry.
That's
Yep.
sweet. Yeah,
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah, I first saw Math Powerland sitting on the couch. That was the first video I saw. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. It kind of grabbed my attention. I was like, wow, that makes sense. It wasn't the disc floating in space that I was thinking of. I was like, okay, I'll click on one more and see, just because there was no science there. It was just him telling a story. So I was like, let's see what, I want to see the numbers, see what they're saying. And I saw Jaron's, this is a Mirage video. And that did it right there. As soon as I watched that, because I'd sat, Michigan City Harbor over 100 nights, easy. On my Michigan City Yacht Club, my uncle had a boat there. We'd go spend the weekend there. In the summer, we'd spend weeks there. And me and my cousin, there wasn't a whole lot for, the children to do. So we'd go down to the lighthouse and sit there and look at Chicago every night. And you could see it every night, unless it was, real foggy or something like that. But every night you could see Chicago. And it'd be different amounts and whatnot, but I wasn't paying attention. I just knew I could see Chicago. And I went down to the beach that weekend for sure. And I was like, oh yeah, I'd taken my telescope out there and everything. I was like, I was telling everybody. As soon as that happened, I told my optometrist 3 days later. I learned real quick that you don't talk about flat Earth.
First rule of Flat Earth Club.
Yeah, you got to know your song well before you start singing. And I didn't know.
See, I was the opposite.
I didn't even know the
tune.
tune.
Singing that tune for a minute, it was 2 months, I think, almost before I actually even really talked about it to Michelle. I would kind of ask her little subtle things around it, that she really wasn't quite hitting the hints on yet. And when I finally came all the way out and said, look, here's what I'm thinking and what I've been looking at, she was just like, 2 minutes to go find the first Vsauce video and 3 minutes to go find the first, the usual crowd. Then we started talking. Then we started looking. Then I started showing her the things that I had seen, and she was like, oh, shit. And then, like I said, before you know it, she's sending me the fake NASA crap. So she saw it pretty quickly. Absolutely. It just wasn't immediate for me to be able to go out and feel secure enough in this new stuff that made no sense to the worldview I had before that. And my first video, I think, actually was the remix of the 12 Clues that Leisure X did, which omitted, I can't remember the numbers, but I think 2 sets of the videos for the clues or something like that, just to maybe to avoid a strike or it didn't sit right with them or something. But it was probably a good months before I even knew who Mark was or that those were his clues videos I had seen. I just knew this Leisure X video was really cool and had a lot of great stuff in it. But that was, like I said, 10 of the 12 clues, I believe.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go, eh?
Well, fuck off, Rob.
All right, Rob, you wanker.
You a wanker?
Much
Yeah.
love, Rob.
That's about the size of it, Cammy.
Oh, I don't think they know what it means, mate.
No, don't they?
I think we might.
All right.
Man, we've known
All right.
Rob.
I'll probably chat to you. I'll chat to you during the week, eh?
Sounds good. We'll
Love
be
ya.
around.
Absolutely.
Okay, see yous.
Yeah.
See you, Rob.
See you, Rob. Love you.
Bye.
All right,
Bye.
brother,
Easy,
take it.
Rob.
Take care, Rob.
Bye.
I should
And
probably
another one
push
bites
off
the
and all.
dust. Yep.
Just looking
Yeah,
at
you're
my
past
ninja.
your
No longer
bedtime.
outweigh the chat.
I'm still smiling that the missus came knocking on the door to come.
I know, that's
I
awesome.
am too.
I had my headphones on. I felt the battle bus shake, and I thought, "What the fuck was that?" and then saw this telegram thing saying, "You there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Open the door." And I'm like, "What?"
Why?
Yeah.
Well, I dropped the link in
No,
chat. If people want to join that are in chat, you could hop on Restream, and I'm pretty sure the audio should work. Maybe not. We'll see. I thought it would work this morning, but
I've been getting a few messages from Alex, and she's flat out doing this wedding. So, unfortunately,
whatever. God.
Yeah,
Nah, no worries.
she never stops working. She's unreal.
Well, let her know that she was missed and that we appreciate her letting us borrow you as much as we do.
And the
That's
Savage
our
Egg will never forgive her. Or Shell. Where's Shell? That's no good. Haven't heard much from Hank either.
He was here earlier.
I did see him. I'll put him on the big screen. Don't worry.
Hank's
I was
too
gonna get him
timing.
to. I was gonna get him to sing for you, but Jaren's probably. Well, I doubt Jaren's sleeping. It's Friday. Jaren will be up when
All
I get
night.
up. Yeah.
We'd get a copyright strike, so yeah, we'll let pass on that one.
Hey, Nemo, you still there?
Yeah.
I saw in chat you that work was headed your way.
Oh no, I was saying that for Lucas,
Oh, gotcha.
his wife. I know how it is.
Gotcha. I just didn't want to hold you up.
That's so
No,
weird.
I gotta remember that I'm like on a call, not listening to a call.
Oh, that's right. He's on the
I
phone call.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm like, where is he? I don't see him.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
I do that as
panel
well
that
when I
need
was-
to work that out as well. Yeah, Nemo.
Yeah, I've done that. I was just sitting there like, oh, I'm enjoying this conversation, and realize you have to talk sometimes.
So you guys will have to look at the YouTube stream to be able to see the guest, but we are joined by a guest, I do believe. We have one on air joining us. Let me see if we can pop this up a little side-by-side action.
Sounds like a weasel on there.
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for hopping on that link. That's good stuff. Who are we
Hey,
talking
it's
to?
Jason. Jason.
Hey, what's
Jones.
up, Jake?
Hey.
How you doing, Jason Jones?
Good. I wanted to hop in on because it seems like so many of you are in one spot, so I can tell everybody that I appreciate everything you guys are doing. I watch y'all, Glowbusters, Crow, all of it. Absolutely love it.
Well, that is so awesome. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate all your support, Jason. It is much appreciated.
Cheers, Jason.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Jason.
awesome, Jason.
And I don't really have a wake up story as far as flat Earth goes. I woke up to the truth with in the medical field. I'm a nurse. I was an agronomist before that, so basically a plant doctor up in Iowa. So I saw, the way that was designed and how medicine and food is connected. It's the same companies that own it all to basically keep you sick and get you sick. So I would, as far as waking up to the flat Earth, I remember hearing Jeranism and Mark both kind of just in passing, and what I thought was, well, of course it is. That makes sense. And I didn't know anything, then, but I knew the globe didn't make sense. So I really don't. And then I just kind of gradually started watching you guys more and more, and less of other people, maybe on TFR that put flat Earth down. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys very much for all you do.
You are so
Awesome
welcome.
story.
That is great.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Really good to hear. And anyone else who wants to call in and tell us how they came about it.
I do want to say one thing real quick before I hop off here. I don't have the link with me right now, but there's a chiropractor that I watched that's out in California, and he put something up the other day, and I'll have to get it and see if I can get it to one of you guys. But I think from what he said, there is a group of doctors suing the CDC because they're at a couple of universities out in California, and they wanted to do some studies on the coronavirus or COVID-19, but they couldn't produce it for them, so they're taking them to court. So because then obviously it's far. So I'll get some more information.
We got the same thing happening in the UK over here as well. Private criminal prosecution doing exactly the same. But yeah, FOIA requests from the US, Canada, Ireland, and the UK so far have all come back. But the simple FOIA requests asking for evidence of what the virus is or where they've purified it and isolated it as per the code, and none of them have been able to come back with anything. So, yep, they're on exactly the right track, and that's awesome to hear.
Good. All right, man, I'm going to hop off here and let somebody else get on.
Hey, before we go, Jason, I want to tell you, brother, thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you. You're always in chat hanging out. I see you. I see the love. I appreciate it, friend. You guys being there and sending back the love makes this all worthwhile. So thanks.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you have a great rest of the weekend, Jason. Thank you so much for hopping on.
Take care.
Such an underutilized version of Restream. I don't know why I don't use it more. I really do like it. I see Allison was here too. ABC's was about. She tried to call in, but apparently Restream doesn't like her phone. I am anxious to hear how she progresses with her new project.
What handle does Jason go on in the chat?
You should be able to recognize him. It's Jason Jones.
You got it
in chat.
I'm just scrolling back and not seeing a Jason anywhere, you sarcastic bastard.
Jason's always there, brother.
No, he may or may not be there. I don't know.
Yeah, but whether I may or may not remember that I was seeing the name is another.
That's true. You may have scrolled past it 3 times.
Brown J. Come on, man.
Chat's all new to me.
Oh,
right, on that note,
you call yourself a chat wrangler.
There he is, John, just for you. He was in at the beginning. You just didn't scroll back far enough.
There he is, Jason Jones.
We're only 2 hours and 47 minutes in, John. You got to get on it.
Nice to see a fellow Welshman.
I don't know how the hell that just dinged with my coffee cup, but that's cool. So yeah, the link's there in chat. Anybody else wants to hop on? We're going to bail out of here maybe in the next 13 minutes, give or take.
Well, it's been an awesome show, I have to say.
It has.
Considering I was avoiding it right up until 11:59 or 10:59 or whatever it was.
Whatever time it was, that's when
Indeed.
How long it took me to dread it.
I had a rough start to this day in this show, and it was really crazy energy. I dropped the ball on a lot of things on my end. That's part of why Shell didn't show up. So my apologies to y'all, to her, all
Something
of it.
about Fridays, though. I don't know about you guys in the mornings, but the evenings, I don't know. I just all day I'm thinking I just do not want to talk tonight.
It's that evil sunlight.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many times I tell myself that. I don't want to go down there. Yeah, I do. No, I don't.
Yeah, dude. What else am I going to do? Well, I really want to talk to them, but just not on air. Yeah.
Right.
I'm the...
See, Bob, honey, you're not the only one with these conversations going on.
Yeah, I'm gathering that.
Well, I mean, guys, we have been at this a while as a community here on this call. You know, we're not new spring chickens at this. We've all put some hours in front of these screens and on these chairs that wear my freaking shoulder out and the whole 9 yards. Put our families at a distance to sit here and spend time with people that they don't even know really sometimes. So yeah, it's definitely
trouble arrived.
tough sometimes. Who's here? Who rang the bell?
Hoping Skype was going to get active.
Hey, Karen.
What? What's up?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Any
Excellent
bubble gum?
lights in the background.
Oh man, you got cool lights.
No, this is a Zoom. This is Zoom.
I know. Just messing. I love it. I be with mine and I quit because if I do that, I just get distracted.
Oh.
Karen, did you guys see the news story today about the lawyer? That a virtual court case where one of the lawyers came up as a cat and he couldn't turn it off.
I heard about it.
Say I am not a cat, but I guess there's a cat filter in Zoom that you can.
Oh yes, I saw that. He's like, I'm here and I'm not a cat. Can you see me? And it's like this cat, and yeah, that was hilarious.
Animated cat talking.
I'm ready to proceed. But,
Yeah.
I'm not a cat.
No.
And if it had been like a regular, like a cartoon cat, it'd have been funny. But the fact that it was like a real life, sad looking little kitten who was looking up at you and the eyeballs moved and he's looking around trying to figure out how to get his off. And that poor little kitten's frantically looking, trying to figure out how to get oh my God. It was hilarious.
And that's like next level stuff there. All I see here is like simple little like Snapchatty ears and cheek things, nothing full headed like that. Didn't we get a cat that would call us early on when we would allow
we did.
Open line? I thought we did. I thought that might be the same fucking dude.
Yeah.
But anyway, Karen, I see you dragged the Valentines in behind you, maybe. Is that right?
Well, yeah, Ted's here. I told him.
Yay, Ted.
Hey, Ted.
Hi, Ted. How you doing?
Hey, Ted.
What's up, Ted?
Hey, Cammy. Hey, Bob.
Hi, Ted.
Jack.
What's up,
And
Ted?
everybody. Oh, same old, same old.
What's up, man?
Yes. Come over here and help with the garden.
Yeah, it's going to be time here real soon.
Yes.
To start planting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
What do you guys got planned?
Oops, I was going to say that was a really fun stream last night you did.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you guys liked it. I love stuff like that, and I wanted to do something like that, but I never know how stuff like that's going to go over. But it seems like there's a few people that liked it.
It was a lot of fun.
I can now tell that story now about what went on that Cammie was talking about earlier. We were on Karen's stream, and she was reading tarot cards, right? And one of the things that she pulled up for somebody else was like a 3 of cups or something like that. And I was, being myself, and I'm like, oh, I would much prefer D of cups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a couple people got it, and so Karen then decides to go ahead and do a reading for me. And the first card that she pulls is the King of Cups, and I'm like, oh my God, you can't even write this stuff. It's way better than the D of Cups.
Now the start of the show makes perfect sense.
See, full circle.
I had no idea what was going on there.
That's why I called him the King of Cups on his intro. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go, Savage.
Secret bloody jokes. I don't get it.
And the picture of how happy the King of Cups looked. I mean, he looked satiated. I mean, he looked like the dude. Awesome. It was awesome.
I do want to take a minute and congratulate
It was
Karen.
swanky.
Karen, you just finished your round 1 of biomagnetics training. Yes, you're your first class. Congratulations. That is super exciting. I'm so happy for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're officially are you officially like a therapist now, or just you still got some more to go, or how does that work?
Well, I'm officially certified level 1 biomagnetism. I need to practice it first. Like, I wouldn't go charging people money yet, but technically once I practice it enough, I could. Yes, I'm certified. I can do it for a living.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That's so awesome, Karen.
Yeah, I was I was thinking about that because, I heard you earlier on Jaron's show when he was asking about whether or not you thought it was real that they could actually float a human in one of those magnetic chambers like they did the frogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to that and I was thinking, all I could think about was the one video that Ken Wheeler, Theory Apophysis, did where he has that huge $1,000 neodymium magnet that he puts on the table in front of him. And he bends over the front part of it and he says, this makes your eyes hurt because it literally starts pulling on the iron, or some organ in the eye. And I was just thinking, you may be able to do that for a while, to human tissue, but I would imagine it might be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, but also think too about what he's doing. He's got one magnet with one field and he's leaning over the top. He's leaning right over the parabola of it. He's leaning right over the point.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, it would have to be balanced. It would have to be all about the fulcrum
But there's
point.
something about whatever there. I don't think people could be suspended in that sort of field for long term. But there must be something about the way the formation of it, or you know what I mean? There's something about the way they have it set up that can make people hover in the middle of it, or something hover in the middle of it, unaffected for maybe a short.
I don't remember a patent we found early on about that very device. Don't I remember that passing around the community? Like it was one of those, like it was a black page with the white, like almost like a blueprint of a diagram and a patent of this levitation.
It could be, but just think about how strong the field strength would have to be inside of that chamber to make something levitate.
Oh, yeah. But I think it's the fulcrum, the balance of the opposite magnetic pull, I think, is what the thing on the. I'll have to go see if I can.
Well, it kind of worked. It kind of worked like on the basis of Lenz's law. If you guys are familiar with what Lenz's law is,
right, with the copper tubing, is that?
Yeah,
thing?
if you drop a magnet down the copper tubing, it slows it way down, and essentially.
Or have you seen the one where they swing a big magnet against the copper plate and it just stops? Like
yes, it just freezes there.
Yeah.
Yep. But so I was just thinking about that, going, wow, that's got to be a heavy duty field, right? And I'm not sure I would, I'm not sure exactly what the Gauss, rating of a human being would be that you would want to subject yourself to as far as, magnetism. But yeah, I just kept thinking about Ken Wheeler and him saying that it made his eyes hurt when he leaned over that neodymium magnet.
Do you guys remember the guy, the Christian guy, Dan, with the cap, Dan, who turned back onto the ball?
Tiger Dan?
Tiger Dan, there you go. Thanks for that. I've been trying to struggle with that for a while. But it wasn't his last video about suspending humans in a magnetic field. I'm pretty sure it was.
The last one I remember from him was him bashing on Jaron about Antarctica.
Oh, before he turned, obviously.
Oh, before, okay.
His last
it was still
video.
a legit video, right. I think I vaguely remember that too, John.
Yeah, he was showing all the ways that they were, with superconductors and suspending these magnets and this sort of thing in space. And he made a video, I think it was his last video before he was turned to the dark side, that was about suspending humans. He was trying to emulate the ISS, but yeah, interesting.
I found a page from UCSD.edu that has a chart with like 5G of Gauss being the highest allowed for implanted cardiac pacemakers. Let's move up about 4 steps to 600 G, which is allowed for TWA routine exposure for the whole body. And then we can pass up a couple of steps to 20,000 G, whole body ceiling limit, no exposure not above this limit. And then the last one is 50,000 G, extremity ceiling limit, no exposure allowed at this limit.
Yeah.
whatever any of that means.
I wonder what it would do to you. I mean, besides rip the iron out of your blood.
But would the Gauss value accumulate like that if you had several low Gauss magnets and you added them together? Does the Gauss increase or does it?
No.
Well,
it depends. It depends on whether or not the field is coherent or incoherent. I remember Zach's video.
Right.
There's a huge difference between the two.
Right. That's like this old pain magnet thing I have from 30 years, 20 years ago, probably one of the early UFO conventions where it's all just basically ceramic magnets. And when I run something over it, you can tell they're not aligned in any kind of way, you know, that whole thing versus what they're trying to do now with these fields and these alignments.
If it starts affecting the iron, you're going to start affecting the oxygen as well, you would think.
Yeah, you would think for sure. I don't think you want to go too far on that. But I mean, that whole thing came up because, you know, we were trying to figure out how the astronauts are, you know, faking floating. And, you know, one thing I brought up a long time ago was, you know, look at what some of the magicians do, like David Copperfield or David Blaine, where they're literally able to like float or walk on water or, you know, perform these amazing illusions. And then Jaron went in and kind of found one of those videos that showed the secret of how David Copperfield was able to do his.
Mm-hmm.
And it may or may not be right. You know, sometimes I wonder if these guys aren't actually practicing some sort of sorcery where they actually can do this. But I don't know, because I mean, some of that stuff seems pretty fantastic to be sleight of hand type of stuff. But whatever, I don't know. But so that was just another thing I was thinking. It's like, well, you know, maybe if, you know, besides all the technology, you know, they could be looking at their magician brethren, right, that have been pulling off levitation and flotation for, you know, hundreds of years probably. So I don't know. It does make it interesting to, you know, wonder and figure out how they do that exactly. And obviously I think it's a combination of several things. It's technology, it's sleight of hand, it's, you know, all kinds of stuff like that.
It's all of the above. Yeah, I'm a huge magic fan from early days. Houdini was like pretty much every year that was my go-to report from, you know, first one I had to write, and learn quite a few things from some really hard to find books. Now you can't find them, but back in the day, a lot of little, you know, coin tricks, sleight of hand, played with cards, practiced it. I actually dealt for a little while in a casino here locally. So the skill set that some of these guys bring to this is amazing. There's a guy out there, well, he's no longer with us, Ricky J, who was a card mechanic that would believe, it's just amazing what he could do. Go out and find this thing called Ricky J and his 52 assistants and just sit back and yeah, it's going to break your brain. So that level of skill they bring to it, combined with some of the technology that they can bring to it, is pretty amazing. The one where he's not David Blaine, Chris Angel's levitating above the pyramid there in Vegas, pretty crazy.
Yeah,
the best card guy I saw, he would be able to take a brand new deck out of the pack and shuffle it so many times, and then it would be exactly the same. He could get it to, you know, in a short amount of shuffles. He could show you that they were all shuffled up, and then he knew where every card was. He would know if he accidentally put 2 down here instead of just the 1 when he was doing his bridge. Just the feel of it. Like you said, they have this amazing talent. Like anything, it's practice, but they know if they mess up, but they could still tell you where every single card is in the deck at any time. They can keep all the numbers in their heads somehow. Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, that's part of the memory tricks as well. By using cards, you can do a
they
bunch
know
of
I shuffle it this
things
many
with
times. These cards are going to be right here. It's not even a question in their head. They just know the cards are there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and some of it is a mathematical way of dealing with it too. I was about to tell you, Zach, that I can teach you a variant of that card trick you just described in about 30 seconds. And I'll tell you what it is, because anybody can do this. And it still blows me away that it works. But you know how, like, when you get a brand new deck of cards, you open it up and they go ace through king, and then, you know, of spades, and then ace through king of diamonds, ace through king of clubs, ace through king of hearts, right? So if you just take that, remove the jokers out of it, and just take that brand new deck of cards, lay it down, and make 13 individual cuts. It doesn't matter how many or how few, but if you do 13 individual cuts and then you just lay it back out, guess what? They all come back out in that same order again, which I'm still not sure how that works, but it blows me away. And anybody can do it.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's trippy. Yeah, go everybody try it yourself. It's super simple.
There is so many tricks, and not tricks, but there's so many things like that you can do with a deck of cards that just have always blown me away. I've been fascinated by this sort of thing for quite a long time. But I mean, talking about Dan, what's his name? Tiger Dan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And you know the stuff he produced before he disappeared?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was amazing. There were some fantastic videos that he put out. If you go to Google now and put Tiger Dan Flat Earth videos, you get nothing. Absolutely nothing. The guy has been scrubbed.
Oh, really? Because his channel stayed up for a long time.
I'm not even sure his channel is still there. I mean, if it was called
really, I'm gonna
Tiger
look.
Dan, was it called Tiger Dan?
Yeah, it was called Tiger Dan. Let me see if it's still there, because it was there for the longest
Wasn't there
time.
some numbers after it too?
Tiger Dan 923 or 925 or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. TIGERDAN.
But you would think
925 for sure, but I'm not finding it right away for sure.
Here it is. I found it. It's still up. 50K. Let me
Link over
post
there
it
for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
All I'm getting is a little Carl Daniel Tiger character over and over and over.
This channel has no videos.
You're right. All of them are gone.
So if anyone knows where the original Tiger Dan videos were, let us know, because we need to back them up. Because, and I don't care what anyone says, before that guy changed, he was on fire.
Yeah, he was. So the last thing, and I remember him, you know, being on Patricia Steer's show, interviewing one day and saying, "Well, you know, if I ever come on and say that Flat Earth, that means that somebody got to me." And it's like, oh, that's kind of scary, you know?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Anyway, guys, on that note, this has been awesome, and I'm going to have to bug out of here because I'm falling asleep and it's -3 outside. And yeah, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
We'll give the Savagess
Thanks,
our
John.
best. Tell her thank you so much for popping in. We do really appreciate it. It was a nice surprise.
In Fahrenheit, that's a heat wave, man. No worries. Lightweight.
27 Fahrenheit. Yeah, total lightweight. But yeah, I hope to hell they're not still listening. Well, either way, it's been brilliant. Cheers,
Thanks so much,
guys.
John. Have a great rest of your
Thanks,
weekend.
John. See ya.
There you go.
Love you guys.
Later, Savage.
So my plants are doing really well. Still.
Ooh, I got a thing from Dom the Magnetic Gardener. I'm gonna have to get into it, and he sent me some more pictures and stuff.
Beautiful.
So maybe we can get him back on here in the near future somewhere. I'll keep that in the back of my mind for sure.
Sweet.
Hey, Zach, you know that guy that I pointed out that makes those toroid coils? Well, he was doing some experiments with plants as well and getting better growth. One of his last video uploads. So worth checking that out too. And his coil was running some LEDs and it was using under 1 watt. So it's super efficient as well.
Before, when I put that magnet under my air plant, it hit me that it might not work as well, being there's no water involved. So what I did was when I did the water soak for the air plant, I put the magnet under it then and left it there for the full 2 or 3 hours. I soaked it. We'll see. So far, it really doesn't seem to be anything different. But before we go, Karen, please tell everybody about what you have going on and coming up, and plug, please, ma'am.
Okay, well, I've got another event coming up called the Solar Return Celebration, and that's going to be on March 27th, 2021, and it's at the same place that I held Flattoberfest. So all logistics the same, and we already rented the park across the street for a meetup the day before, but this time instead of renting it for half the day, we rented it the whole day. So we have it from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and it's a pavilion, it's got power, it's got tables, it's got grills, so and plenty of parking. And also the event center across the street said that we can use parking over there, so overflow parking across the street already set up because we have the place for the weekend. So that's what's going on. Go to flatearthfestivals.com and there's a little button that says up next. You hit that, takes you to solar return celebration, and there's you can buy tickets through the website, and there is a code for a discount. It's 1111.
I love it. Make a wish.
Yeah.
121.
So that's what's going on.
Cool. So, and it's going to be mostly art, and it's not going to be like Flattoberfest where people are going to be speaking or nothing like that. Or do you know?
I don't know that there won't be anybody speaking. I don't know. I'm actually not 100% sure what entirely is going to go on at this thing, but I did put it together with the main idea being based around music and art.
Hashtag Jason Jams.
Yeah, so Jason Lindgren is going to come and play. He wants to play an acoustic music set, so we'll have live music by Jason Lindgren. We also are bringing Chief Crow and the Flat Earthworms. We're going to fly him in from Oregon, and he's going to be there playing live. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chief Crow, but he did a lot of cool Flat Earth songs, and I don't know, it's really cool. He'll be fun. And who else? Media Bear.
Chief Crow does have a lot of good stuff. The only thing that made me leery about Chief Crow is his association with IPS.
Yeah, but you know what? He is not like that.
I don't think he is either.
I think they found his music and they liked, and he, at the time he wrote that stuff before everything fell apart. And, there was a lot of people that were involved with that I'm still friends with today, that they kind of, they see that for what it was, and they're cool. They're still good people,
I agree. And a lot of them bailed out of it too.
And they all, exactly. And, Chief Crow's always been really cool, and I've always enjoyed his stuff. And when I messaged him about it, he was like, yes, I want, he'll show up in my live chats. Even before I was putting this on, I would see him show up in the live chats and he would say hi. So I knew that
he's always been friendly.
Yeah, very friendly and supportive. And I just, there's no reason for me not to like him. And so why not, if he's still open and wants to be part of everything, and he still wants to make music and play music and be part of it, bring him out. Let's be part of it. I don't care. I'm not going to hold people. I'm not going to hold something against somebody, that guilt by association thing. If they're still willing to be, open, if they're still willing to have that open-minded communication and be friendly, I have no time to hold grudges. I don't have energy for that.
I agree. And I'm glad that he is, that way. And he did seem to come away from all that, but as I understand it, IPS still has quite a hard on for several of us in the community. And I'm just glad that a lot of people are seeing that for what it is and, kind of walking away from it. This whole discordance that
I didn't know he was still a thing.
Unfortunately,
not really.
Well, he's not much of a thing. I mean, when you go and listen to his live streams, he's got like 5 people listening and stuff like that. But why he has to focus it around hatred, of other flat earthers, is just beyond me. I don't get that. I don't understand, why these people can't just let things go and get along.
Change the channel, move on, don't listen. You don't have to agree. And
yeah, or just make an effort to, get along. You don't have to agree, but you can be cordial. There's no reason to be a jerk. Exactly. So, and I think a lot of people figured that out, and Chief Crow is definitely one of them because he's always been really nice to me and everything. But boy, I'll tell you what, if I ever showed my face in a IPS chat, I'd be attacked brutally.
Me too.
Yep.
And I really don't care to go there. I don't care to waste my energy on that.
Yeah, I don't either. But the thing that bothers me about that is IPS. I mean, that dude, all of his faults aside, he's smart. He is smart as hell. And I think when he first came on the scene, I think he was a fantastic and brilliant activist, and I don't know what happened. It's like, what in the world?
What happened is he never came from a genuine place, and he did what he did to capture the attention of flat earthers, not everybody else. Wasn't ever here to really wake people up.
His intentions, his intentions were never that, and being smart does not make you a good person at all.
Nope.
He likes to feed his demons. He likes to he likes the discourse around him, and so it's like people like that feed and do it. And again, his intentions coming in were not the same as other people's here. So it's just a different game he's playing.
Yeah, and yet he has the capacity to be very cordial and very, very accommodating.
So did Ted Bundy.
Oh. Right. Exactly.
Ooh,
though.
There
it's
you go.
True. It's true. Sad but true.
Sad but true. Again, being very intelligent does not make you. It's not. It doesn't equal a good person. It really doesn't. People need to wake up about that.
Yep, that's true. Well, in any event, the new Flattoberfest or Return to Summer, I can't even remember what it's called.
Solar Return.
Solar Return.
Solar
there you go.
Return.
Solar Return.
It's going to be awesome. And
It is going to be awesome.
I'm sure of.
And Media
It
Bear.
is.
We're going to have the Media Bear guys there.
The Media Bear guys?
Media Bear. Media Bear.
Okay, but when you say the Media Bear guys, is there like a group or something, or?
Well, there's the guy who makes the videos and writes the songs, and then there's the dude who actually sings the songs.
Oh, okay.
And so those dudes are going to be there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
More the merrier. I hope we have a turnout like we did for Flattoberfest, maybe even better.
Yeah, and then also I have Watson coming with all his artwork.
Nice.
And I did reach out to Chris Pontius to see if he wanted to bring any of his art, displays, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard back from him yet, so I'm going to reach out again and see.
Oh, I hope he
that
comes.
would be so
Chris
nice.
Pontius is the bomb.
Yeah.
He's so amazing.
I mean, that would be super. I mean, when you're talking about music and art, and then there's a couple of other musicians that I want to reach out to come and possibly participate. So possibly have OBL again, and maybe I would like to reach out to Twin Serpent again. And actually, also I talked to we messaged with Conspiracy Music Guru, and he may put something together that's like pre-recorded that I can play at the event, because if we remember how we had that big video screen, and of course Nathan's working with me on it again, so there's going to be awesome sound, because the sound was like the best of any sound of any of the events. I think. Oh
God, it was way better than the conference sound. I can't believe. I mean, you know what? There was not one single hiccup in any of the AV. Nathan did such an amazing job. Commercial sound and video. I mean, Robbie should have hired him from the get-go for the Flat Earth conferences, because those guys are horrible. I mean, they were just terrible that did the FEICs. But yeah, no, Nathan's really good.
Yeah. So I think it'll come together really good again, because it's just like what happened last time. Remember, I was trying to get the Shrine Club again, and then they're like, oh, we don't have a date for that. And then they're like, oh, we have a cancellation. It was like, oh, deja vu. That's how we got our last day. They had a cancellation. We'll just take that again. And, it worked out really well, too, because we've already worked with them, and they loved us. They loved us, because flat earthers are freaking cool people. They're good people. you get a large group of flat earthers together and everybody is just positive and happy, and it's just a good thing. And they loved us. So they even like right after Flattoberfest, they were like, anytime you want to do an event, you just let us know. And, and then when they were booked, and they knew we wanted a date, they called Nathan back. They were like, we got a cancellation. We had first in line. They loved us so much.
Sweet.
I think that is so awesome, Karen. I'm so excited. Now, I heard rumors when I was listening to you that I'm going to have a table there again.
Oh, of course you are.
I have filters coming, more Polaroid filters, little ones on the hands-on. I do, yeah. I would
yes, we have an anti-gravity device we're going to be building.
We're going to be building. I have bismuth coming.
This is going to be cool too.
Zach's got a crucible coming. We're melting bismuth. We can make crystals too, Karen. I know you would love to, but we're going to melt it. Did you look at the video where if you melt it into a parabola, you can levitate a magnet right on it? Just simple, easy peasy.
I saw you put it in the chat, but I did not see the video. Please enlighten me on this.
The video the video actually came on a hard drive that somebody gave me at the conference, but I can liberate it from that and drop it in Skype for you guys. It's a video of Ken Wheeler, and it's titled something about the most inexpensive anti-gravity device. It's super simple to make how he made it, and it's cool as hell. And it costs like what, $7 or $17, something like that for him to make it.
About probably because of the shipping and that on it, it'll probably be about $7 to $10 to make for us. If we made multiples of it, it would be cheaper. You take bismuth and you melt it and you put it into. He's using the top, the bottom part of a can. You know how it's scooped out a little bit
like
on
a
a pop can.
Semi-parabola, yeah.
A semi-parabola. You can actually use that as a mold for it. So pour it into it, and you'll get your shape on it. Once you have that shape, it works naturally. Being bismuth, with the nature of the beast, it's the most paramagnetic element out there. Again, you get natural.
That's amazing.
Easy.
I'm blown. I can't wait to see this because, like I said, the only thing I've seen is like people make the crystals from Pepto-Bismol or that kind of crazy stuff.
Okay, and the other thing is from the shot. We're doing it from the shot. So of course, now that we have a pound of shot coming to the house, the other thing that we are going to be
want to come
do is going to be making.
Right? That's exciting, man.
We do need to make crystals because do you remember my beautiful bismuth crystal that I had playing with and doing it on the shows and that?
I just watched a video with the crystal collector, and he was making bismuth crystals.
We're going to be doing that.
He had like a pot on fire, and
I'm
so down.
Doing.
I'm there.
I think you guys are going to have.
And those crystals are amazing when they're finished.
They are amazing.
They are the coolest shit ever, and they make like an inverted pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
They do negative
inverted pyramid crystal.
It's a reversal pattern.
I think I'm going to make you guys do it in the fire pit outside and not in the kitchen.
We will be doing it in the fire pit in the garage where we we have a fire pit. We have a crystal coming from it.
Do it outside.
Yeah. Think of the Ferris wheel thing. This stuff is messy, and bismuth is a lot just like I told Zach. If we use any of the saucepans or whatever pan you use, know that you're sacrificing it. I have not done this in a while. It's messy. On the last bismuth I had, that beautiful crystal that I used and showed. Crystals like to adopt and go home with people, and that one went home. I'm almost positive with Rob and Sheila Ski, but so they were fascinated and in love with it. And so these crystals, that touch through my hands, they find places where they are like, oh, I want to go now. So it's time to have some more in the house. And what more fun to have more in the house than grow the crystals, because that is how crystals happen. The same as snow, the same as anything. They grow.
Yeah, they do. They grow. They freaking grow.
Just like that, Karen B. Yes.
It's crazy.
So we will be growing bismuth crystals. And again, you can watch the organization, how brilliantly they organize on the, by themselves in the lattice structures. In the case of bismuth, it's a negative lattice structure or a negative crystal. So again, you have inverted hollows coming out. Can anybody bring up a piece of it onto the screen for people that don't know how beautiful and unusual what we're talking about is? You should be able to type in BISMUTH crystal and bring up a really ton of them.
Yeah. I love it.
I'm getting there.
So yeah, that should be here. Shot should be here on Sunday. Do you know when the Crucible's supposed to be here, Zach?
I'm not sure.
We may have to sacrifice a little saucepan, but I have.
Well, I have the other Crucible. I was looking. The other Crucible should work now.
I don't know if it's big enough,
It's
but we'll
big
see.
enough,
If not,
yeah. I was looking at the bottom of a pop can just a little bit ago. I was like, oh, that's not that big.
so yeah, we can do it. And if we had to donate a saucepan, it's worth it. It really is. It's
I have
amazing.
I'll bring a
lead
saucepan just to participate. I have
Okay,
lots
a
of
little
things.
ones. What you want is small. The key is small in this, Karen.
Okay, I'll look for. I bet you I have one to bring. I'm sure I have one that I don't
Again,
ever use.
small that you don't like, because it will never ever ever be the same.
No, I've got some that I don't ever use. It would be perfect. I could totally sacrifice it to the
It's not even
business gods.
it's not even sacrifice it, because it's going to give you joy doing it. So it's
it'd be totally worth
it's so much rather do that than sit in the dusty back of a cupboard. I mean, it's such a better purpose. So
Yes, and I need room in my cupboards.
so exactly. So it handles it several things at one, and I'm sure again I'll have a saucepan that's cluttering my cabinets too. We all do. But that's going to be great fun. Have more polar filters and light. I do know that Nathan and Austin are very interested in doing what I do at the shows along to show people just again Faraday effect, what polarity is, how these things are real and out there. So we'll be working with it more at Solar Return. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there, and I'll have again hands-on several miroscopes and things to do really hands-on stuff. So looking forward. Yay!
And yeah, I want to bring. I'm going to have some different art things that we're going to bring there. Actually, Nathan, who also works with me on these events, he does art stuff. You know, he had shirts he was selling at Flattoberfest last time, some creative, truther-based shirts. And he's got some other stuff that he's been working on. And I'm going to bring some jewelry that I've made, wrap some more crystals, I think, so that I can bring them. And I would encourage people who do stuff like that to bring your crafts.
Are you taking magnets?
Oh yeah, I'll bring my magnets. But the thing is, though, like doing a scan on somebody, it's not really the type of thing that's friendly to being in like a loud environment. It's not like a massage thing.
It's a personal, intimate type of setting that works best.
Yeah, because there's 145 scanning points that you have to scan. If you want to do a thorough full body scan to look for distortions, you have to do initially 145 scanning points, and after each point, you have to check the length in the legs to see if there's a distortion after each and every point. So it's like put the magnet on a point, check the legs. Next point, check the legs. Next point, check the legs. So
how long does a scan take usually?
Well, it depends.
I mean, could all this be done in one day?
It can be, but it depends on the therapist. Like me, I'm new, so I'm learning where all these 145 points are. So I probably only have like 14 or 15 of them memorized so far. So for me, I'm going to be like, okay, where's the next like few points? So for me, it would take a little bit longer, but as you become more familiar with it, you go faster and faster, obviously. But yeah. Initially, it would probably take a couple of hours to do a full body scan, but the guy teaching the class, he's thinking, he can do a full scan in like a half an hour, 40 minutes.
But to ask that, if does just like anything, practice and skill, you'll start being more intuitive with it. It'll be more
right
guide you than you trying to find it kind of thing. So yeah,
right,
this is awesome, very awesome.
So how much did your certification cost, if you don't mind me asking? If you do, tell me to fuck off.
Fuck off.
Fuck off, Josh.
It costs less than it would cost if I did it in person, because they have in-person classes where you have to go and stay at a hotel, and they do a class for a couple, it's like over a few days. So this was probably about This was almost half of what that would cost, but it was still close to $1,000.
That's really not bad though.
But it's
no, for the information, that's
right. Exactly. Just the education, just getting that knowledge, I think is worth $1,000. That's the only reason I'm asking.
Right?
I don't know that I'm going to go practice, but I would love to be able to learn it and at least practice on myself, practice on the people near me. I mean, just having the information and the knowledge is well worth $1,000 and some magnets.
I mean, if it really does do what it says it does, and if you listen to what people talk about, and if you talk to, and I've already talked to people who practice in this, like Jamie Lee, who used to do a plaintruth.info, he does this. He's been doing biomagnetic therapy for a while, and I talked to him a couple of weeks ago, and he's got a group of people that they meet every so often, and they just talk about new pairs that they find and how they've helped people, and it's really cool. It's fascinating, and the cool thing about it is these magnets can find distortions in your body, before you're displaying symptoms, and it'll help correct it, and your body can correct it early. And it's like an MRI. It literally is like an MRI scan, except you don't have to go pay whatever that insane amount of money is to go get an MRI scan, where they do the resonance and they show you exactly what's wrong in your body. Now, granted, if you go do that, they'll show you pictures and they'll be like, this is what's wrong in your body and blah, 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 blah. But this is essentially the same thing. You're using magnets to look for distortions in the energetic body of the person, and then you put the magnetic, the opposite pole in the resonating point for that, and then you allow your body to correct itself naturally. And in a couple of sessions, it doesn't matter. You don't need those pictures that say, oh, you've got this here or that there. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you find the distortion, and then you put the magnets in those spots to help correct the distortion, and you just leave it there for a set amount of time. Which the other part is that it's trippy. It depends on your latitude, where you are in relation to the equator. It determines how long you leave the magnets on the impact points. Okay, so you leave the magnets on the impact, huh?
That's interesting. Really interesting.
Right? I find that to be one of the most fascinating parts about it. So you leave the magnets on, and then you check for the distortion again, which is shown in the length of your leg, the right leg. It either shortens or lengthens. And here's the thing: I found a distortion in myself. When I put I was scanning myself, I put the magnet over my right eye, and I was checking the length of my legs, and my right leg got longer. And it would only do it when I had the magnet over my eye. If I took the magnet off and I checked the length of my legs again, they were the same length. And then if I put the magnet on that spot, because there was a distortion, when I checked the length of my legs again, my right leg was longer, and the bone, that bone on your big toe, they didn't meet anymore. And I recorded it because it was so trippy. I showed it to Ted. He was like, that's crazy. Because you don't even feel it in your body. You don't even notice it, but you can visually see it. It visually expresses itself through your right side, because the left side of your brain is the side of your brain that feels the stress of everything. Right, the right side is more abstract, but the left side is more grounded. That's the side that feels the stress of everything. So it exhibits itself on your right side. So your right leg will either get shorter or longer depending on what the distortion is. So then you just put the magnet in the corresponding impact point that they know about, that they found through whatever their practices that they did, right? And then your legs go back to normal. Like my legs now, they go back to normal. So now if I put that magnet over my eye, that distortion is not there anymore. And it's crazy. I don't know what it was. I didn't have any symptoms. There was nothing, I couldn't sit here and tell you that, I was feeling this, or that. It was just something that was found when I scanned myself. And then I corrected that distortion. That pH is now going back to normal. And it's almost it's just a new way to maintain your health, instead of letting things get beyond fester to where they start to exhibit themselves in these physical symptoms, you can find it literally like a manual MRI machine. You find these distortions, but you don't just find them, you correct them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's why I'm
It's
fascinated.
better than an MRI machine.
I'm absolutely fascinated. I mean, just watching my plants grow with the magnets and then just wanting to balance my pH and, create an environment where infections and things are not likely to grow and just get everything balanced out. I love that it sort of incorporates the two. I'm super, super curious.
Yeah. And like I said, it depends where you are in relation to the equator. So the closer you are to the equator, the shorter amount of time. Like today I had my last master class, and there was somebody there who lives on the equator. She was like from Kenya or somewhere. And she says, I'm at 0 degrees. How long do I leave the magnets on for a treatment? And the teacher laughed. He's like, 5 minutes, just so you can put it for some amount of time, because it works so good. The closer you are to the equator, it's like you almost don't even have to leave it there for very long. But for me, because I'm at 35 degrees, it's whatever your latitude is divided by 2. So 17 and a half minutes. So when I left the magnets on my eyes, I left them there for 18 minutes. I set a timer.
God, what does that mean?
What if it's not the distance from the equator, but the distance to the pole?
Well, that would.
Well, there's no South Pole, and it's the same. It works the same south of the equator, right?
Right. Or is
I can tell you there's no South Pole. I don't know, but it's the same on south. Like, so for Lucas in Australia, it's the same. All the rules are the same.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the moon.
I don't know. There's something though, but both the moon and the sun, both of them are sort of tethered to the equator line, right? Like they only go so far from that, and then they just kind of go back and forth over it.
So if
the wandering planets do the same thing, they all
Right?
stay in the ecliptic. So yeah.
Is that where is there a coil under our Earth? Is that the circuit?
Well, what if the quadrupole is just creating such a large torus that the very apex of that torus is where the equator would be? So it's sort of coming out of the north and up and around. So it's because that's where the least amount of magnetic interference is going to be. You're the farthest away from anywhere else that's from that torus that's coming around. So you got to get it on the front and the back. So you got to get right in the middle of that torus, which is where the equator is going to be. At least that's what I'm picturing in my brain. But
possibly.
I'm talking at my ass.
I can picture. I can do a picture where it works like that on the equator. It's interesting. Again, I would have never thought that. It's something to contemplate in.
Being into something that just like, oh shit, right? That's yeah. But I'm still reeling from this whole right leg thing that Karen brought my brain. Especially since all my pain and crap is on my left side, and I'm trying to figure out that differential. Is it maybe my creative side's got me stifled? Is that why my left side's killing me? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. See, it's different for everybody, and the symptoms across the board are going to vary for everybody, and obviously a lot of them are going to overlap, right? Like even in the class it says, they have these pairs set up, right? And each pair, they're broken down into types. Like there's pairs that are associated to viruses, to bacteria, to parasites, and to what is it? I can't remember what the fourth one is right now, but they all have different types, and some of them are special pairs. And so, and even though they're associated, and then it'll specify what type of virus or what type of bacteria or fungus, that's the other one, fungus, okay? But you never taking samples from anybody and taking it to a lab and testing it and saying genetically or for sure, like, this is what it is. Okay. But they have these pairs and they're all associated to known viruses, fungi, parasites, whatever. And they even tell you, like, if you find distortions in a pair that is associated to, like, they have pairs that are associated to, like, HIV or even coronavirus or just different types of bacteria, dengue fever, malaria, right? Okay. So you'll find distortions on these points, which are associated with these different things that are associated with certain symptoms. But you'll never say, like, I would never say to somebody, I found this distortion and this thing says you've got herpes, right? Like, I'm not going to say that. I just say, okay, I found this distortion. It happens to be associated with the virus herpes. It may or may not be exhibiting symptoms in this person. It could be pathogenic or non-pathogenic. It just depends on your health and your immune system and what you do to yourself on a day-to-day basis, right? Just like anything other, and a lot of factors in this. So you may find a distortion that's associated with these viruses and bacteria and stuff, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they have it. It just means that there is a distortion in the biomagnetic pair that is associated with this. So then you just correct it and your body balances itself out naturally because you have allowed there to be this hydrogen ion exchange between the two fields, which balances out something, and your body just works itself out. It just makes it so your body can do what it needs to do. It's fascinating.
It is. I am completely fascinated.
I think you would have some amazing conversations with with our guest is what I was trying to say that we had this morning. Joanne Fisher, she does this body talk, which is like basically just an umbrella of a lot of things. Lucas could probably speak to it more than I can because he had a little bit more background in the kinesiology. See, I can't even say the words. Help me, Lucas. Where you at?
Yeah, so she had studied basically it's type of kinesiology, what she was doing. And kinesiology is really interesting because it's basically muscle testing and finding and using multiple different ways to actually correct balances. So, say it's with magnets or something like that, you could do muscle testing and bring in where to put the magnets on those points. So you could just do it. You could do a muscle test, find out where there's a problem by scanning the body just with your hand and finding where the arm switches on and off. And it's basically, for people that don't know what muscle testing is, it's a way of just getting a response, it's like a yes or no for the body. And all you're doing is, if you say a stressful word or something that is aggravating, then the body sort of reacts to that and will create a sort of weakness or get stressed. And the same, the opposite occurs if you say an affirming word, then the body reacts to that and gets stronger. So by just doing a muscle test, you can actually press on points, say something, or do anything like that and actually feel for that reaction. So she understands the muscle testing as well as she was right into dealing with infant health and those sorts of things, which was really fascinating. It's well worth going back and having a listen to what she was talking about.
It inspired us. We're all thinking of getting a group session with her to kind of work out some of our aches and not buried trauma, whatever, kinesio trauma, whatever it is.
Yeah, so I sort of understood what she was saying a fair bit because I'd studied kinesiology for nearly 2 years, and yeah, very interesting. And we'd use the Chinese meridian system and energetics of the body in that way as well. So it all ties together, and these sorts of modalities are really important because they allow for different modalities to be used at the appropriate times, as well as just listening to the body, understanding it as a whole mechanism and bringing in what it needs rather than sort of dictating, like our modern system, which basically says, here's a pill, you'll be fine, and not dealing with the mental, emotional, or anything of that sort of stuff.
Right. You need to incorporate body, mind, and spirit into healing. I really think you need to take the whole big picture into account if you really want to get true healing. And
I think we need to do the same thing when we look at our cosmology. We need to look at it in a mental framework, an emotional framework, and the physical framework, and all those things tie together as well. And we should see correspondences in the cosmology to ourselves and everything else in nature, because it's fractal.
For sure.
All right, I think we can wrap it up. We went 45 minutes over. That's longer than I've gone in a long time. Done really good at keeping it at 3 hours.
It was good stuff, though. We couldn't leave it alone.
Yeah, I knew this morning. I knew this morning that we were going to go long tonight. I just knew it. Thanks for hopping on with us, Karen. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I want to hear as this progresses for you, how it helps you. You know what I'm saying? I think this is going to bring some energy things to you. I really do. It's already helped you with your thing this morning, so there you go. Well, man, just share and let us know how it goes. And I'm excited about this summertime fun time. I'm not going to missay it. I'm not going to do it. You tell me what it's called again.
Solar return. It just means the sun is coming back to this side of the equator. It's the solar return. It's the return. I was going to call it True New Year, but I don't know. I like solar return better because
that's a good name.
Bob's fumble a while ago. I do like it. I really do like it. Solar return. It is awesome. What's the date again? Tell everybody.
March 27th, 2021, Greenville, South Carolina, flatearthfestivals.com. And if you want to go and get a ticket now, 11/11 for a discount.
Nice.
What a great way to celebrate the new year.
Right? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Everybody
I can't wait.
Go grab that discount now while you can. Discount code 1111.
Make a wish.
All right, I think we're going to wrap it up. Let's see here. I got 4 screens and it's still too few.
Oh, by the way, Zach, I don't know if you were listening to the broadcast too, but I wasn't the only one volunteered for Solar Return. You, my friend, were volunteered too. Awesome. Pentagram generator.
By my table, I mean our table.
At our table.
So, Nemo, are you still there? Are you still hanging on?
Nice.
Yeah. I let the wife listen to Karen's bit about the magnet thingy. She said she ran into it a while back when she had a shoulder injury. Now she's going to be looking further into it.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking further into it as well. I'm super curious. Super curious. Just watching my plants grow and watching the things it's doing with these little creatures, little organisms. I think, what is it going to do?
Well,
if
still doing extra well.
Yeah, doing it well. All but the one that doesn't have the magnet, But the other 2 are growing like gangbusters. Just a little
Give
cup
him
of water.
a magnet.
No, F him.
How can you do that?
Sacrifice in the name of science, Zach.
Fuck science.
Yes, science.
Love that plant.
No, Phil knows we love him. Phil's been around a long time. He's like a cat. He's got at least 9 lives because I've killed him about 8. So the fact that he's doing so well now and nothing but a cup of water with a magnet underneath it makes me really, really happy.
We have an aloe vera plant like that. It's turned brown so many times.
It's green again.
And then it turns green again.
I really want to get a nice, great, big freaking aloe vera plant. That'd be nice. All right, let's
we got to get one going for sure. Here, definitely. I had
You
one
don't
for
have
like
any
4
aloe over
years.
there?
No plants.
I haven't seen any, Karen. That's gonna change. It sounds like.
All right, Nemo, I think we're going to wrap this up. Thanks so much for calling in. You're welcome to do this anytime.
Thank you, Nemo.
You're welcome. And I was reminded of something, Bob. You were curious about the deck being spliced in a very specific manner. 13. I don't know much about the trick, but I played a crap ton of spades, and there's only a maximum of 13 books once you take the jokers out. Wonder if that's got something to do with it too.
How many cards in a suit? Yeah, that's what I thought. 13 in a suit. 13 books
divided by 4.
Don't know if
Notice
everybody
how
knows this.
The ace is the highest, but
Yes.
yet it appears as the lowest. Like the ruler is actually.
We were talking about that
seen
today.
as,
Yes.
like the peasant.
Another
that's how they
and the
hide.
cards are a calendar too.
Another thing that may play into it is most packs, they're done inverted. Like this side is ace to king, ace to king. This side is king to ace, king to ace. Most, or that's casino packs when I spread them. An example.
The other thing that most people don't know, and especially the ones like that were on Karen's case last night with the tarot cards, is playing cards are of course based entirely on tarot cards. That's how they got started. So yeah, playing cards are just a variation of tarot cards, and tarot cards were the original playing cards. They're the oldest playing cards. Major Arcana was what was there, and then they added the other ones later on. And again, you'll notice that your royalty is never the most important. They're high up there, but they're never. There's a
calendar.
higher. Yeah, it's a calendar. Yeah.
And it's and the zodiac, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's all of the information is there. It's the magnetics, it's the calendar, it's the world.
Yeah. Sweet.
It's a way of passing down the occult knowledge generation to generation, and unless you understand how to read it, means nothing to you. But if you do know how to read it, you can pass on the secrets in these beautifully crafted, decks. So amazing stuff.
Absolutely. I'm reading an amazing book about it. I'll share it with you. But we need to get out of here. Man, thank you, everyone, and everyone else. What else can I say?
What else can we say? It has been
Happy Friday.
A Valentine's Day show to beat all Valentine's Day shows.
And see, Josh, you came in thinking, man, I'm going to have to wait another year at least. And it happened. Congratulations, Josh. Well done.
You're welcome. Much love. Bye, Rome.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it wasn't without a hitch, Nemo, but it was pretty damn close for us.
Love you, Nemo.
I didn't even know you were on the air for the first 3 minutes. It was awesome.
I'm still not sure how that happened because there's nothing that should have been going out. It was completely muted on that side. I'm not sure. It's weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I heard it. I was like, I better let everybody know.
I'm going to have to go back and check all of our TFR streams.
Wow.
I can say they're good.
All right. Sweet. Thanks, Nemo. It's been a pleasure as always. Thanks
Later.
for always leaving messages for me. Let me know you're out there. I do appreciate it. I do dig it.
I'm around the outside. Outside technical player.
That's right. Like 2 trailer
Later,
park
guys.
girls. All right. Love you guys. Toodles. And I think we can get out of here. Where are we? There we are. Little LC King original. Wait for that big bass hit to come in. Yeah. Well, this has been Have No Sphere, our pre Valentine's Day show. I really did enjoy getting to talk to everybody's spouse. Thanks, Billy Ray. Thanks, Rose and Jason. Thanks, Nemo. Thanks, Sally. Thanks, everybody else. It's been a pleasure as always. You know what? Tune in next week because I don't know what the F we're going to do. So it's going to be a wait and see.
Tommy.
Tommy.
That flat fellow will be joining.
Good call. Good call. Thanks, Zach.
Saying, don't we have something? I'm glad Zach's on this thing.
I'm glad Zach's on this thing too. Anyway, love you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Love you, Globusters.
I
and
love
everyone
you,
else.
Too. Bye.
Bye.
Be good, be well. Tune in next week. Bye-bye.
Peace.